What's going on, D-Bags? Are we live? I don't even know. Are we live? Okay, we are. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the podcast, the dtalks podcast, episode 182 to be exact. I'm here. I'm joined by the homies. I'll be introducing them shortly. I'm dropping stuff. This is crazy. We are running all over the place right now. If you guys are new here, though, and you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing because we've got a whole lot of that going on around here. And when you do subscribe, leave a like. Hang out in the live chat, share the video, whatever, any of that good stuff. It helps us share conversations and laughs like we're going to have here tonight with more people. So do consider doing that. Also, all my socials, music, everything is down below as well. Now, before I can get into today's podcast and chat with the homies, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about car insurance. These days, it seems like prices just keep going up, especially with the holidays. I know you're feeling it right now. I'm feeling it right now. I'm hurting. The wallet, it's looking light. It's not looking well for me right now. But luckily for us, Kenosha Auto Insurance can help us save some money in that department. When you shop locally with Kenosha Auto Insurance, you'll see how simple and hassle-free insurance can really be while they help you and your family get the best rates. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call today at 262-448-4141. That's 448-4141. The website's kenoshains.com. One last time, that's 262-448-4141. It's on the screen right now. It's linked down below. Give them a call. Tell them Rita dtalks sent you. The worst that could happen is you will get the best rates. Now, I'm in the middle of posting a TikTok, like as I'm trying to go live, and I want to share the stream and everything. But I'm joined by two dtalks. What would you?
Veterans.
Dtalks veterans here. We've got Kaylin McCracken and my guy P Dizzy. He's a disembodied voice. If you hear him at all today, that'll be him speaking into the microphone.
I got my gain.
Yeah, he's there. He's there. Hopefully you guys can hear him. And then of course Kaylin is here as always. What is this? You guys' fifth appearance?
I don't know. I think this is my fourth.
That's crazy.
I think it's fourth, yeah, because I don't come home frequently enough. It would be fifth if I was able to do it last time, but I got sick.
Yeah. That's what Mike told me was his reason he can't come today. Is because he's sick.
Is that facts?
That's what he said.
Facts or cap?
The thing is, I did just see Mike. He helped me out with the Santa video, so I don't think he would cap to me.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
But yeah, I'm shout out to Michael Scott's been on the channel a bunch of times. Big Ty was supposed to be here too, not here today. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. I wanted to meet Big Ty. I've been wanting to meet Big Ty ever since I saw him on your podcast, like a long time ago.
You guys haven't met yet?
No, that's the crazy thing. Is like you would think that two veterans, right, would have met each other, but we have not.
Really? Wow.
No, I was so stoked to meet him.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, he dropped the ball on that. Hopefully, he says he's got a dinner he's got to go to today, so we'll see.
Okay, no, we were talking about this, though. Like, why is it? Because we get, like, it's the holidays, right?
Of course, it's the holidays.
It's the holidays. But you always know that the 26th is going to come after Christmas. So if you're not free on the 26th, then you can just not make plans. True. On the 26th.
True. He says they were dropped. I just saw a text right before we went live that said he got it dropped on his plate this morning. So whether you guys decide if we believe him or not. You guys decide. Dr. Tizzle, Big Tizzle,
I don't even care
Big Ty.
if we do believe him.
Yeah.
If your plans are susceptible to change, don't make them.
Yeah.
Unless you can commit.
Yeah. I agree. It's hard for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I've been canceled on so many times. It's like really hard for me to cancel. Like it's like physically, I feel sick. Like if something genuinely does come up and I have to cancel. Like
right.
We'll get into it, but I almost missed Christmas yesterday. And
oh right, you mentioned that to me in your text.
I had a couple tires blow up, and even then I didn't miss it. I was a little late, but I didn't miss it. And I felt like at one point I just gave up. I was like, I'm gonna die in this car because I don't want to face people knowing that like I didn't show up on time.
Oh my god!
It was like,
man,
it was not good. But we'll get into all these things. I actually, first off, it was kind of crazy getting you here. Do you want to get into that because you're not here in Wisconsin anymore? Just right. You give them the lowdown because I got to post this as we're going.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, I live in South Carolina. I'm going to school down in South Carolina. And I flew up for Christmas about a week ago now. Well, maybe a little bit less than a week ago. And this whole time we'd had planned. I mean, we've had planned for me to come on the podcast for months now. And, I kind of forgot, I guess, that I would need a car to get me to Milwaukee from where I live because I don't live in Milwaukee.
We used to film the show right where you live.
Right.
So.
We live virtually in the same neighborhood, right? So it was right down the road. I could literally walk to your house if I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And typically I would have my brother's car that I can just steal, but his girlfriend actually came up to come visit him this week, so she and him are going out to do something tonight with their car, and they need the car. So basically, I did not have a way to get to Milwaukee, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I was not going to cancel. I was literally going to, like, pay someone to drive me to get here.
Uber.
I would do anything. I mean, I wouldn't Uber because that would sketch me out driving that far with an Uber, you know?
That is pretty scary. What's the longest you've ever Ubered?
Like 2 minutes.
Oh,
I don't
really?
trust Uber. They
Oh.
scare the hell out of me.
I'm not big, like I haven't Ubered many times, but I have actually Ubered I Ubered all the way to Chicago from our old high school once.
Oh, you know what? I lied. I have Ubered from the O'Hare airport back home, but I was with like half my family.
Yeah.
in the car. So
yeah.
I wasn't
If they
scared
turn out
of
to be
it.
a creep, y'all can jump in.
Right.
Y'all can take
I've
it.
only ever like Ubered maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, or probably like 3 minutes away
Mhm.
alone.
Oh, okay.
And that was just because, you know, like I wasn't sober and I wanted to get home from somewhere that was already in my town
Yeah.
or something like
That's
that.
fair. Yeah. Uber's interesting. I thought about driving Uber a couple weeks ago.
Yeah?
I was down that bad. I almost did it. I respect
mean, you
people
could
that
do,
do it,
like-
but I just for
I mean,
me.
you don't have to be like the Walmart of car driving services. You could do like kind of the Target of car driving services, like
Not in my
delivering
car.
groceries.
Not in my car though.
You got Uber.
Like I'm saying, I don't think I could do. They would trust my
I know,
car
but I'm
to
saying your
do
car's
anything.
like so shitty that you got Uber.
Yeah, I'd have to Uber. I don't even know if Uber would let me, to be honest with you. I don't know what
yeah?
package that would fall under because it's
Nah.
it's rough. It's rough, but I mean, it works. It works. But right now she's in tough shape. So
Yo, I have a question. What do you keep your thermostat at?
is it really hot in here?
I'm literally sweating my balls
So
off.
we actually turn the heat off. Like we don't have the heat on right now at all. It just
Well, it's
the
'cause in
window.
apartment buildings.
Yeah,
they're
so
really-
we get the heat from underneath.
Yep.
And the windows are so big, so like we just got like these extra blinds so that we could like block out the sun a little bit better because
Okay.
like we've only had to turn our heat on once for like a day. This whole so far.
Yeah,
this
when
entire
I lived
time.
in an apartment complex in South Carolina, I didn't use the heat during the winter.
I bet, yeah, especially South Carolina's much
Yeah, I
warmer
mean,
than
but
here.
it's like cold, so like you need heat and stuff if you're in a house, but in an apartment complex, you do not need heat down there.
fair.
I'm taking my.
Fair. You
This
take it
one.
off, dude, if you have to. I'm gonna throw us. I gotta post this up because I'm lacking because we
That's
were
okay.
just
Pat
kind
and
of.
I can continue on while
Yeah,
you do that.
Yeah, I just have to get us posted up here, guys. This is not usual. We're usually on top of things, but things have just been a little crazy today. So, and we're gonna get into all that stuff. Well, I guess. What'd you get for Christmas?
What did I get for Christmas?
What'd you get for Christmas this
Dude,
year?
I got like the best. Okay, so I've gotten a couple presents, obviously, because I have like 5,000 family members.
You were good this year.
Yeah, I mean,
You were good this year.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm always pretty good.
Good.
But so, gosh, it's so hard to even say what my favorite was because there were so many. But I think like the world's most thoughtful gift that I've ever received, and probably the most accurately received gift that I've had. My brother-in-law Cameron got. So I love coloring.
My
for those-
old team lead.
Yes, your old.
I don't know if
team
I
lead.
can say that or not, but I did. So
I mean,
it's
so
there.
fuck it.
So fuck it. We here. Yeah, we was out there. We was out there in the
So-
trenches.
My team lead.
Yeah. Team lead Cameron out here.
No, so I love coloring. Like I do coloring all. I love how you're casually.
I'm just snapping that mid conversation. I gotta do. Okay, so you love coloring. You love coloring.
I love coloring.
Got you.
And Cameron took some of my greatest memories, like pictures. So there was one of me and my 2 roommates from college, best friends. There was one of me and my mom, but like I was a baby and I was eating a chocolate chip cookie in the arms of my mother. It was literally the most wholesome picture probably ever snapped on the planet.
And this is, he's made this into a cover or a coloring book.
He's made these pictures that like describe like the warmest stories
They
of
mean
my
something
life
to you.
into a coloring book. And I don't even know how he came up with it, but I honestly ceased to I didn't even know I was existing when I received that present. I just stared at it for about 15 minutes and then I came to and everyone else was still like opening presents around me and I was like, "Oh my god." Like it was the best gift ever. And then my
Wow.
mom got me like a lap desk for coloring. It was like, you know, those Sherpa like pillow desks.
Yeah.
And this one's really cool. It's meant for coloring and drafting. So you can like prop it up so you have an angled
Oh, okay.
desk, and there's also like a portable charger port in it, and a set of 100 markers, because markers are my favorite utensil to color with.
Oh, really?
And with the 100, I can have the different skin tones for the pictures.
I fuck with markers heavy.
I do too. I think they're I think like colored pencils are very soft.
Now, you know what's cold? You remember, like, growing up in school, there'd always be that one person in, like, you had to color some shit in, and they'd, like, outline it with marker and then color pencil
I was
inside.
one of those.
You were going way too hard.
No,
but I
I've
respected
always-
it. I respected it. Every time I saw somebody, I was like, damn, that shit looks so much better than whatever. I got crayons. I got
crayons.
fucking
Two
crayons.
crayons are the worst.
I got, like, 4 colors.
Crayons
That's
are the
it.
absolute worst.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, colored pencils, I think, they're not dramatic enough for me, and that's why I always outlined with markers, because it added like an element of abstract.
It's bold.
It's very
they are
intense.
bold,
They're
yeah.
very intense,
One more.
and you have to know how to do it right. So are you posting those on different?
Yeah, I have
social
to
media
post them on
platforms?
different social media platforms.
Jeez,
so we
you
can
just
get
save the picture.
going. I know. It's a lot. It's a lot of
It's a
things
lot.
going
I
on.
mean,
Okay,
Dude,
you
you're a
love
content
markers.
creator. I do love markers. But yeah, colored pencils have their place, and it's for very soft, methodical colorings versus colored or markers you can do with anything. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
What
We're
do
also
you-
going to be live on TikTok, just so you know.
Oh, because you're viral now.
Yeah, I guess there's some things going on. I'm going to try to set this somewhere. I'm going to set this right
Dude,
here.
Dee's having a crazy day, Pat.
I am having a
I still don't like this side of my face.
I apologize.
I wish that I could just like duplicate the left side.
No, I feel the same way about my
Okay.
face.
Yeah, it's
We're
fair.
here. I'm gonna be barely in frame, or maybe I should. go
Oh
slightly-
yeah, I'm not in frame.
Whoa. what's
Can you
going
not?
on in
Oh, I
frame
don't
right
care, but
now?
I'm not in frame.
Okay, I'll be slightly in frame for this because this is. You guys are witnessing history right now on the podcast. This is the first time I'm doing this. I just figured I'd throw it up there for people that are interested,
New.
because I explained actually just right now in a video that I had to do like a hair routine, and I said the reason I do it on Mondays is because I have the podcast. It's like the only time I take care of my hair is Mondays and Fridays.
Right.
The rest of the week.
Well,
I-
if the people on TikTok want to see the full podcast, they
could.
need to go over to YouTube.
they
if
can
they
click,
want to see
there's
everything.
a thing in my profile. Yeah, there is.
So
a
how many
thing.
people are tuning in live right now
I
on
have,
TikTok?
I have no idea. It's too small for me. I need to get my eyes checked, so that's too far away. But
Can you fill me in?
We will. I will. Yes, we'll get to that. I want to get to.
Oh,
wanna
my
relax.
God, I can't.
I want to
No.
relax with the homies. It's Christmas time. It's the holidays. It's the new year.
All right.
We're getting ready for
All right,
things,
all right.
right? So
Yeah,
you
Caitlin,
you got
sit
some
down.
dope shit for Christmas.
Yeah, what
got
did you
some
have?
I got some pretty awesome shit too. I'm not gonna lie. It was
Okay.
a very good
Yeah,
Christmas.
let's go for it.
I got some fucking. Check this out.
More Legos.
More-
Oh,
check this out, bro. Check that out. Check that out. Check what I got for Christmas. I'm that guy. It's 18 and up, by the way, so you can't.
Really?
You can't talk no shit. I'll get 8. Yeah. It's
Why?
good.
Why
You know
can't kids use it?
You know what? No, they can. I'm sure they can. They're not gonna ID the kid at the fucking Lego store, you know. But
Like when you buy super glue or something.
but you know what I think it is? I think like whatever happened to our generation, like growing up, whatever sort of traumatic experiences or fucked up shit was going on. We had the 2008 recession and everything. Whatever was happening
2008
that we like didn't understand, and whatever emotions we didn't process, all of these things now that we have like adult money, like we still like we were just stunted at that age. So now all
I
these
think It
companies,
might just be nostalgia.
but these companies have bought in now. They didn't make fucking 18 and up Legos before. This is like the last 3-4 years they started doing it.
Right, because we still purchase them as
Because
adults.
we will still buy them. Because you got guys like
Right.
me that are man children that will continue
Yeah.
to buy it. And so yeah, I got some cool Legos.
For me, that's coloring.
coloring
And that's
too.
why they have adult coloring books.
That's why they have adult coloring is so big in the
Okay,
last like
okay.
5-6 years. Yeah, it's weird, but I got some cool Legos. I got some clothes. I got some good shit. I got some really good books actually that I'm
Oh yeah.
excited about.
What kind of books?
I read a lot of like self-development. Yeah.
Thought so.
I did get one book. I got a couple books that weren't that, which I put on a list. So I'm excited to read those as well. One's
Okay.
like on the story of how Lego was actually invented. So
Okay, so
I'm into some weird shit like that too.
okay,
but
okay.
but yeah, it's been it was a good Christmas. What about you, P Dizzy? Pat on the mic.
Oh, we did our Christmas early.
Is your mic on?
Yeah.
Okay,
it
good.
is on. I don't
Okay,
know
good.
if
I won't be able to
game
hear you,
is
so
all the
yeah.
way up or not,
Yeah.
But Trish and Jack went to Jamaica for Christmas, so we had to do ours early.
Oh shit. When'd you do it then? You did like a week early or
I think it
a
was
couple
like
days?
Tuesday, like the 22nd.
Give us the highlights. What'd you get? That was popping?
I just got a bunch of clothes, just chilling.
You got some J's too, didn't you get some new hooping shoes?
Yeah, I did get some shoes. I got the Kyries or whatever they were.
Oh,
Some
okay.
colorful colors.
I wonder if they were on discount with his recent controversies.
Yeah, they look.
You know, they might have. They looked awesome though. I love his shoes. His shoes are dope.
They definitely were on discount.
I don't know what
because
recent
yeah.
controversies.
Oh, I mean, dude, what hasn't he done, bro?
I don't know.
He's
didn't
not
know
as
about
Kanye as
pop culture.
Kanye, but he's saying some fucked up shit for sure.
Oh, man.
He I don't know. He was like not supporting some Alex Jones documentary, and you know who Alex Jones is.
I have heard. I don't know anything about.
He's the
pop
guy that got
culture.
sued by the Sandy Hook families for like
Oh,
150 million.
I know
yeah.
that. Yeah, I've heard of all that.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. So, Kyrie was like not supporting him, but also not supporting him, and like he retweeted like his Alex Jones's documentary. It was a weird thing. We don't have to get into it, but
Yeah, shit.
but his shoes are dope, and I don't think he actually has a deal anymore. So that's tough.
The worst thing though about
It's all the
getting
shoe
those
companies.
nice shoes was Christmas was on Sunday. We couldn't ball.
Christmas was on Sunday. For people that don't know, I open up a gym every Sunday and we ball with the homies. And sadly, yeah, we didn't hoop this Sunday because of
Kenan was
Christmas.
really bummed. He was looking forward to that.
Yeah, it was. I was sad. I wanted to hoop, but we didn't have. We really weren't gonna have the numbers for Christmas. And then my car blew up. So even if I would have wanted to, that would
add
been,
an extra obstacle.
yeah,
for sure.
it wasn't good. But yeah, I actually got a pair of hooping shoes too. So I will have to see. I got some LeBrons. I don't know if I'm a LeBron wearing kind of guy though. I like Kobe's because they're thin and they're like there's not a lot of cushion. LeBrons have a lot of cushion, a lot of meat. So I don't know if I'm gonna wear them on the court or not. But
Okay.
we'll see. Chris,
I was wearing LeBrons before. I got the Kyrie, so they're good.
So aside from presents,
Yeah.
aside from giving gifts and getting and receiving gifts, what is sort of your favorite part about the holiday season here?
Oh, 100%. I know. I love like my family gatherings, to be honest. They're very overstimulating. I'm not going to I have a huge family, and especially
How many are we talking? Because everybody thinks,
well, the problem is that now they're breeding. So the siblings are like coming up with these ligand extensions of themselves, and that adds an extra layer of chaos cuz I don't care what anyone says. One kid is worth two people.
Yeah.
Like in terms of stimulation, at least 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, especially Christmas.
Especially Christmas.
Christmas isn't.
They're running around. The babies are crying.
They're jacked up.
They're jacked up,
There's
dude.
something in the water.
So yeah, it's messed up. But I love seeing all of my family in one room. Like something about it, and just the conversations that arise like with my family. My family is we all are like into like the same types of things.
So you guys get along. It's not a stressful thing. Maybe overstimulating, but it's not stressful.
Right.
'Cause some people have a stressful. It's like.
Well,
they're
we
worried
have
about-
that element too. We do have that, but I think we've gotten really good at getting over that part. Like
Okay.
getting over the conflicts that arise. Like my family will always have conflicts. Like we are all strong-headed and, opinionated and whatnot. So like, don't get me wrong. There's certainly conflict, especially around the holidays.
You ever beef over like someone not passing a certain food or someone taking an extra biscuit and now you don't get one? Like what? You ever get some like petty shit like that? Or?
No, it's normally not petty. It's actually like real things that like hurt to the core,
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It cuts deep.
It cuts deep, but like we get over it.
People gotta be careful around this time because I'll pull those fucking gifts. I don't
No,
give a fuck.
it's
Santa
not-
watching. Keep watching right now. If you talking crazy, you're not gonna get shit.
I know. That was my biggest fear when I was a kid.
We actually, what's funny to my niece, McKenna was trying to get her to take a picture like a few weeks ago, and like she was selective hearing, ignoring her on purpose,
Okay.
and like that she was being a bratty, and like the whole day was kind of just like being whatever.
Wait, your niece? So who's
McKenna's niece, I
Oh,
guess.
right,
I've
right,
just
right.
basically my niece, I guess.
niece-in-law?
Niece-in-law, yes. And she's being a brat, and we literally like jokingly said, Santa's watching, and you should have seen the next snap. She dropped whatever she was holding, she wasn't supposed to be holding, and then she like bolts over, starts smiling big to take the picture, like cheese, like looking like where is she, like
Dude,
I was
what
like,
a monster.
I was like, what the fuck was that?
No.
What the fuck was that?
That character shade.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When you break character.
Yeah, that's wild. But so for you, it's family, spending time with the family.
Yeah, definitely. I think like conversation
Yeah.
for sure is what.
I agree. I think that's big. I just like getting a chance to slow down for a couple of days. Like it's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I do almost every year. I feel like I almost dread it. Like part of me
The
is like
slowdown.
just the stress. It's just like hard to make sure. Like we gotta be here on time. We gotta make sure we have these gifts for everybody. We gotta has everything wrapped. Did we spend the same amount on everybody? Like did we? If there
See,
was
I
a
don't-
limit, where did we go over the limit? Oh shit! Is so and so gonna know we went over the limit? Like whatever it is, all these things. And I get really stressed out about it, and then it comes, and I'm just like, what the fuck was I stressing out about?
No,
for?
and like no one notices the minute. No one knows what you bought on sale. Nobody knows. No one's counting other people's gifts.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like an unnecessary anxiety. I don't even have that anxiety of. Honestly, Christmas gives me no stress. Like I have absolutely no stress for Christmas because I don't put a focus on like presents, like for myself or for others. So like I'm more of the mindset like if I see like I'm shopping and I see something that reminds me of somebody, then I will buy it, and I feel like I'm giving a piece of like my thought to that person.
Yeah.
and I really like doing that. But I don't stress when I don't come across a present for somebody, and I'm not like looking for things to get people. Like,
do you get a present for everybody though?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Like immediate family?
No.
Really? Wow.
No. Only the ones that I find
That
something
you found
for.
something. Wow.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Well, because I know that I wouldn't care if somebody did that to me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't care if someone didn't give me a present if they didn't find something. Like, I don't expect that from people, especially because it's Christmas. Like, it's not my birthday.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
So and also presents are like the least
important
amazing part of
Yeah.
Christmas to me. Like,
Dude, I admire that wholeheartedly. That's fucking dope that you have that perspective on it, honestly.
I mean, I think it's the same reason why it's impossible to offend me. Because like a lot of the things that I say that I think some people find offensive are things that I'm like, well, I wouldn't care if they said that to me. So I don't know why they would care if I said that to them.
Yeah.
But that's not how most people think.
No.
And I've come to learn that like over time that most people get offended by things even if
I think we all
the intention was pure.
Yes, I just think it's easy to, and I don't fault people for it because I definitely do it all the time.
Right.
We take things personally.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
like you might, what you're saying might be totally correct, but maybe you rose your voice at me or the way
Right.
you said it because you're having whatever day. And instead of me being able to stop for a second and be like, okay, well, what's going on with Caitlin that will make her say, like, what is,
Right.
it's not that big of a deal, whatever it is. You know, we want to take it personally. It's like
Right.
we have this like urge to take it personally, kind of.
Well, and that's actually exactly it. And I've come to learn that like that perspective alone is very egocentric and like
Yeah.
self-centered. Like I'm not important enough for everything to offend me, because if something offends me, that
That's a good way of looking at it.
assumes that it was about me to begin with, and that is within itself an offensive narcissistic perspective to take.
Yeah.
So if you can adopt the mentality of literally you aren't important enough for these things to be offensive to you,
Yeah.
like you weren't that person's thought before they said what they said, and you weren't that person's thought before they
After.
did what they did. Like, and I mean, I'm not saying, even honestly, even when I get mad at people, I'm not offended by them. Like if somebody
Interesting.
straight up like shamed me for something, I wouldn't even say that I feel offense. I might feel like mad at them, like why are
Yeah.
you taking your anger out on me, or like what prompted this, or like confusion and frustration.
Yeah.
But I never actually believe that it was really somebody's intent to hurt me, unless it was, in
Yeah.
which case, again, it's
I think what you're getting to is that like it is intent that matters, and if I can, if
sure,
I know
sure.
for a fact that you, or I not even if I can't without a doubt prove that you meant it maliciously or that you intended to hurt me or
Right.
something, then it's like there's no reason to be offended.
right.
I mean, and not to say that if you are offended, your feelings are invalid. You know that happens too. Okay, so Christmas. I want to just wrap up Christmas nicely here. What is what was I gonna say about Christmas? Oh, I guess I have that's what I want to get to is my Christmas story from
Okay.
yesterday.
Oh yes.
So I mentioned, and I actually posted over on TikTok. I posted on Instagram. I posted wherever. I had a little bit of a situation
Sounds like
this
it.
Christmas.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I my car, has its ups and downs. It runs though. All in all, it runs. It's Toyota RAV4.
Oh,
It's the
solid.
old one, 2003. Those are fucking killers, man.
Yeah, I
I
love
respect the
Ravs.
car. I don't downplay it. I mean, we talk a lot of shit about it, but it does what it needs to do.
Right.
I had a tire that was flat, very flat. And I was like, fuck, I'm not going to drive on this. So I was like, well, I guess there's a gas station around the block. I was like, I'm just going to fill it up there, and then I'll go to Christmas. So luckily, McKenna and I drive separately because that would have just been a whole nother thing.
Why did you drive separate?
Because she had to work Christmas
Okay,
night,
okay.
'cause she's a nurse or whatever. So she
Right.
had to do that. So so we drove separately, and so I go to this gas station to fill up fill up the tire, and I get there, drive around the block, and they're like, "Oh, it's out of order." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I'm like, the guy's like, "There's one down like just around this block." He's like, "He's got a bunch of them, so just go there." I'm like, "Do they work?" Like, cuz I've gone a couple weeks ago, I went the other way, the other direction, because I had like kind of a flat tire.
Yeah.
My one's, I think it's got a leak or something. And I was going to pump it up, couldn't find anywhere, so I just ended up going home, pumping it up at home. And so I go around the block. This guy does. He has like fucking 10 of these air machines. I'm like, hell yeah. So I go up, I'm putting quarters in. Nothing fucking happening. I'm like, okay, maybe it's this other one, because none of these have signs on them. The other one had a sign on, so I went inside and asked before I started. So I go to the next one, put them in. Nothing. I'm like, motherfucker. So I go inside. I'm like, hey. I'm like, which one of those works? And the guy's like, it's fucking Christmas, so like I'm fucking sorry he has to work, but he's all like, oh, none of those work, dog. None of those. I'm like, well, you want to put up I was like, okay. And sometimes I get quick to anger. Sometimes. So I'm trying to do.
You're confessing your sins.
I was really, and you can ask McKenna this too. I was doing a very, very good job for myself with all that was happening. I would not get too like angry yesterday, which I was proud of myself for. It's all the journaling I've been doing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that actually changed my life personally.
It is big. So I'm like, okay, fuck. So I know Quick Trips have air and they usually maintain their shit. So I'm like, okay, there's a Quick Trip on the way. If I take the back roads and I just go real slow, I can make it. I was like, I'll get to a Quick Trip, I'll pump it up, I'll go there, right? So I'm going like 25, 30 under the speed limit. Hazards on, just rolling, trying to get to the fucking Quick Trip. And I get about 15 minutes, fucking tire. I never heard this sound that fucking happened. Blows up, dude. I wish we had a picture. Oh man.
It had a leak. Why did it blow up?
So it had to have had a leak. And then it like basically what had happened was if there's a hole or something, had to have like caught and ripped, and the whole thing just like it was like the weirdest like pop sounding almost, and then it just shred, and I'm seeing tire flying behind me, and I'm like,
does it smell like shit?
Oh fuck, well my fucking nose is all fucked up, so I don't fucking know.
Okay,
Maybe probably did, but then it just hearing metal scraping on the fucking, so I'm like, oh shit. So I pull over into this. Luckily I got to a gas station. It was not a Quick Trip, so their fucking air did not work. I have a spare tire, right? Now I have changed a tire a couple of times with my dad.
You've already beaten me, so.
Okay, well, there we go.
I've never even witnessed.
There's levels. So I know how to do it, right? What I don't know how to do is where the fuck to put the jack so I don't fuck my car up.
Yeah.
And so I'm so anxious because I'm like, dude,
Call AAA. Do you not have AAA?
No, not on this car. I don't have it. I have like a different fucking thing with it. So my shit is fucking blown up, and I've got a spare tire. I get the spare tire off the back of the car. I'm ready to go. And I'm like, shit, where do I place this? And I'm so scared because I'm like, I don't want to break something else trying to fix this. It's freezing. I've now gotten under the car like 3-4 times trying to find the spot because I'm looking at the diagram. It's not fucking, I don't see it when I get under there. I'm like, it's not fucking there. It was there. Spoiler alert. But I don't know how to fucking, it doesn't look the same. They lied on the diagram.
To be honest, like you've already made it farther than I ever would. I would have gotten to the first gas station without air in the fucking pump and called someone to pick me up.
Well, so you know how cold it was yesterday.
Oh, I do.
In the last couple days, freezing, right?
Freezing, below actually.
Fucking freezing.
Like
so
below zero.
I'm laying in fucking ice underneath my car, trying to in fucking freezing cold. I kept going back in the car just to like warm up for a few minutes and like watch a YouTube video on some fucking Polish guy doing it, and then I would get out and try to fucking do it, and it wouldn't work, whatever. So eventually, this guy.
Did you ask anyone?
I did. I asked the guy in the fucking gas station. He just laughed at me. Did not say anything, just laughed. God. So I was like, okay. So then this guy pulled up. He wanted to use the air machine. I'm like, yo, it don't fucking work. I'm like, the air don't work. But I was like, but can you help me with this real quick?
But I do have something you can do.
And he does. He's like, oh, it goes right here. Motherfucker put it in the wrong fucking spot. So I jacked the car up just to suspend. Didn't break anything, but it's just the suspension going up. The tire's still on the ground. So I'm like, fuck. Whatever. I end up guessing. I like this Polish guy on this video. He's like, oh, I just go a fist in. And I'm like, okay. I was like, maybe it's my Polish heritage. I'm like, let's just try this. And I go, boop, boop, boom, put it in, prop the car up. We good to go. I fucking take the tire off. Now, I realized my spare tire is a little flat. Not flat like this other one. There's a picture somewhere. I will put it, when this is a highlight, I will put it up in here. You will see how bad the first one is. I put the second one on. It's fine. It looks like a tire. It's not flat like that. It's not crazy. I've seen people drive them way worse. So I put it on. I changed the tire. Now, granted, that was like an hour. I just fast forwarded an hour.
And is
basically.
your family like eating?
Oh yeah. They're like, "What's going on?" I'm on
potatoes.
FaceTime with my dad. Like, Dad, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm fucking dying. Like, I'm freezing to death. My jacket's ruined. Everything. It was terrible. So I get this going. I'm like, okay, I just gotta find. I'm like, this is a little low, so I want to pump this up just to be fucking safe. So I'm like, let me get to that Quick Trip. So I'm driving. I make about 20 minutes. Right?
The Quick Trip is still 20 minutes away?
Because the Quick Trip, when the ship blew up, I had to go, like, I had to, like, turn left. It was, like, this whole weird thing. So I had to, like, go, like, a half mile on the fucking blown up tire out of the direction. And I was only driving 20 miles an hour in a fucking 55 or 60 or whatever it was. So it took a long time. So I get there. I get close. I'm not far from the quick trip. Like I know it's on the GPS, and my other tire blows up.
No, it doesn't. With the new one?
The spare that I just put on blows up
Why?
because it was low and it was cold, and so it just fucking tore. It didn't blow up the same way. Like there was no pop. All of a sudden, you just like you're making the same noise, it's rattling. I look out the fucking mirror, ripping up, tearing up shreds of tire everywhere. So I'm like, fuck. I pull over.
Have you started crying at this point? Are you
no,
not a crier?
I didn't cry.
I would have been in tears.
I got really angry. Actually, I think I just went on TikTok because I gave up. I was like, I'm not going home. I don't have any more tires. I used to spare this fucking,
It's
and
Christmas Day.
and so I'm like, okay, so I'm just sitting there. I call my dad. I'm like, shit's broken. I'm about 30 minutes from home. So he's like, okay, I'll just come get you. And so he's on his way to come get me, and I'm just chilling. This guy pulls up behind me in a truck, and he gets out of his car, and I'm like, oh hey man. He's like, I'm like, I cut him off. That would have been great. No, I already cut him off. I'm like, I already got somebody coming. Don't worry about it. Like, hey, there's a guy coming. My dad's coming. It's da 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 da. He hits me with the, oh no, actually, he introduced himself right away. Tyson, he's like, oh, I'm Tyson. I own a shop like 5 minutes from here. I might have some extra trailer tires. Help you out. I could just swing it over here and you could borrow that. Maybe that'll help you get home. And I was like,
Is that easy?
I was like, for real? Like you and he's like dead serious. And then I almost cried. Because he was so fucking nice, this guy. Shout out Tyson. He owns a bunch of fucking businesses in this whatever fucking area I was. It was like around Waterford, I don't know, somewhere Burlington, after Burlington on the way to Milwaukee. I don't know where the fuck that is. Making the cut. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, anybody, not Tyson, if you guys are listening to it, and you have a Yelp, I do not have a Yelp. I'm going to make one. I'm going to go review Making the Cut is his fucking business.
I had to go do it.
He literally saved my life because it was fucking freezing. He goes, he gets it. Shitty, because I didn't know. He said to me, he was like, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, like, just leave. Like, just know I'm not coming. Like, I'm probably not coming because I don't have one. And so I didn't call my dad and be like, don't come. Because in case I don't know this fucking guy. He didn't give me his phone number right away. Right. So my dad shows up right when dude gets back.
Oh, Jesus.
We changed the tire, but it was all good. My dad even tries to give him some money for helping me out. And he's like, nah, just pay it forward. The sweetest guy. So shout out to fucking Tyson for making the cut, dude. He is the fucking goat. And I have the tire on my car right now. And he was like, just wait. He's like, get it whenever you get it fixed. He gave me his phone number. He's like, just give me a call. If I'm not around, you can just drop it off at my shop. They'll know what to do. Like, and I'm like, okay.
Get what fixed?
I'm gonna, cause it's like a trailer tire. It shouldn't be on my car. It fit, but we don't want that. It's like a little wide. It's a little janky, right? Okay, so I got to get 4 new tires, which is what I'm going to do.
Jesus.
But he said, he's like, just borrow it for the week, like just bring it back, drop it off.
Did you tell him that 2 of your tires exploded? Like you told him the story?
I didn't show him the second time. I was too embarrassed that the one he was looking at was shredded to pieces. I didn't want to get into that. So
yeah, I guess you have to like uphold your masculinity.
Yeah, I was.
I don't have that.
You know those like those TikTok guys, comedians that like they do like the shorts, like the Midwest stuff. Like they're those like Midwest dad guys. They're like, oh, don't you know, TikToks. like oh well, even anything. I'm sure you've seen these guys. Like they're like these like Wisconsin Midwest like dad accounts. This dude was just that to a T, really? And in the best way, in the nicest way. Like he was just the sweetest guy.
Goat.
And yeah, and seriously, like my dad tried to hand him some money, and he was like, no, I'll just pay it forward. And he's like, if you see somebody in need, just help them out. That's all I ask. And I'm like,
that is so sweet. That was like, Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas Day. That was Christmas Day. I literally was like, man.
You're going to go there and they're going to be like, Tyson? We don't have a Tyson here.
It was an
angel? It's just an angel, yeah. Can you imagine?
Crazy. That would be nuts. But yeah, so I did eventually get back and I'm all good. I'm getting some new tires. So I'm sure my grandpa's listening or my family's listening. They're like, this fucking kid and this car, I got it under control. It's okay. I'm sorry that I've let you down.
I mean, didn't you already tell them all this?
Some of them, not all of them.
So do you spend Christmas with your immediate family or McKenna's?
We did 4. I have 4 Christmases to go to. So
why?
Christmas Eve, we do this thing. I was going to ask you guys what your favorite Christmas food was before we got done with Christmas too.
Okay, Christmas food.
And then I'll explain why.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm more of like a Thanksgiving girl.
Okay, so what is good though for Christmas?
I honestly don't like most of it.
Really?
No, I like my mom's cheesecake, but that's not like Christmas specific.
Fire, but it's just what you eat on Christmas.
Right. I mean, because here's the thing. On Christmas, we always do like this like giant rack of I don't know. It's like a carcass animal on our
Mm.
table.
Nice.
Doesn't have a face or anything, but it's like it's ribs. What is it? Roast
Prime
beef
rib?
something?
Prime rib, maybe?
No, it's like roast.
I don't know meats. People just make.
It's like
I'm not really
a
into
beef
meat
roast.
like that.
Fuck, if I know.
Yeah.
I don't like really fatty red meat like that. I don't like red meat in general. The only like cooked red meat I can do is ham.
Okay.
And even that, like small amounts. I don't know. I just don't like red meat.
Yeah. That's fair.
But like we have turkey on Thanksgiving, and even though turkey is dry as fuck, like I can add some like sweet potato and some
Yeah.
broccoli, and it still tastes better to me than like regular
fair.
meat.
So you'd have to say the cheesecake would be your favorite. Because it's just what's tradition to your family. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I
The
guess so.
cheesecake?
I guess so. Yeah.
What about you, Pat? What do you guys eat?
I feel like we always do
Yorkshire
some-
pudding. Just kidding. Yorkshire pudding.
What the fuck is Yorkshire pudding?
It's like flour and then the meat drippings from your animal that you've cooked,
What the
and
fuck is that?
a little bit of
You
milk.
don't like meat, regular meat, but you drink in the fluids of whatever
well,
animal.
No, you like mix it with flour and a little bit of milk, I think, and then it takes like a couple minutes to cook. I think you like pour it in a pan
Yeah.
and either cook it over the stovetop or in the oven. I can't remember. And it turns into like this really like mushy, almost like bread.
Yeah.
But it's like it's really fatty and like salty and
And apparently good.
umami.
Tasty. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding. Plug it. Pat, what you got? What do you guys eat on Christmas or Christmas Eve, whenever?
I think my grandma and my mom switch off just like cooking something for Christmas. But what I did have this year, my favorite, I can let you know that Debbie made her famous cheesy potatoes, and
Cheesy
Ooh.
potatoes.
they were so
That's good. Any time of
They were
year.
so good.
Yeah, that's fire. Fire. Shout out to cheesy potatoes. That's dope.
Potato pancakes. Those are dope.
Potato pancakes are good. I was mentioning how I have 4 Christmases, right?
Yes.
So Christmas Eve is this thing called Vigilia. It's like based in some religious thing, but it's my
You're Polish,
Yes,
yeah.
my mom's side is Polish. Her parents are from Poland. They like immigrate first. They immigrated here and stuff. So we do this thing every year on Christmas Eve called Vigilia, where we do like the breaking of the bread. We do there's like 12 dishes you have to eat, so
Oh,
it's
that's
like one for
badass.
every. Yeah, it's
Are
pretty
they
dope.
good?
Oh, fire! Yeah, my grandma don't mess around, and even,
Oh,
and even the
right.
stuff she be outsourcing, because I think she outsources some of it now. Like she buys
Oh.
some. She used to make everything herself, but she does some of it. She buys, and wherever she be going, they be plugging it too. So
Dope.
yeah, no, the pierogi for me, like they have
Oh,
like
pierogies, dude. Those
cheese
are-
pierogies, bro. They got like it's like this almost dessert pierogi. Like you eat all these other pierogies, and then you've got all these other meats and everything. And I was saved. There's like this, I don't know what cheese it is. It's some interesting cheese in this pierogi, and you can put like this like sauce and then like a little sugar, and it's like immaculate.
Yeah,
so
that
good.
sounds so good.
So that's probably my favorite Christmas food. But or sometimes my mom will make like mac and cheese and shit like the next day. So we do that Christmas Eve. Then I was supposed to be at McKenna's or my house early, and then McKenna's, and then I'd see my dad. But instead my car blew up. So I saw my dad when my car
Right,
blew up,
right.
and then I went back and saw McKenna's family, then my dad, then my mom. So we did like reverse order.
Okay.
But yeah, so 4 Christmases. So it
It's
was
insane.
yeah.
Good though.
Yeah, it was pretty
A lot
good.
of food.
Yeah, a lot of food. Yeah,
Nice.
4 different meals. So
In
and one of the
day.
meals had 12 dishes. No, that was Christmas Eve was
Oh,
one of them.
Christmas-
But
right, right.
three different meals in one day though. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, so it was a lot. It was
Do
a
you
lot.
like eat less per
Yeah.
meal,
Yeah.
or is it just 3 full? Like,
No, I eat less cuz I don't like me of like 2 years ago had that dog in him.
Yeah.
He would have went for it, but I'm not him
had
anymore.
that dog in it.
I'm not him anymore. I got
Yeah, like when I'm lifting like crazy, I could do that.
yeah.
But when I'm like injured, like I am now, and I like can only walk,
Yeah.
then
What's going on with the injury? What's
oh,
going
I've
on?
been injured for years,
Is
and
it
now
the
it's
s-
just
oh,
to the
still,
point where it's
still
like
the same.
yeah, the same hip problem,
Okay.
and then but like obviously when I lack stability in my hips, every muscle in my body compensates. So like
Yeah.
it's a whole sling like up my back and in my shoulders, and so many things are going
Yeah.
on right now. But I don't know. I'm seeing like orthos and getting MRIs done and figuring everything out so that we can talk about surgery for my hips and physical therapy for my shoulder, and finally put this shit to rest so that I can just be a 24-year-old woman and like experience my athletic prime versus just wallow in self-pity and pain throughout my
God,
athletic prime.
Yeah, that's well. At least you're being on top of it, man. You're actually
Yeah,
getting stuff done.
finally.
What I do is I get hurt, and I just
Oh, well, that's what I
I
did
don't
for
do
5
anything.
years. I tore my labrums 5 years ago.
Okay,
And
so
I've just been-
you were me. You just are
Right,
you've
right.
evolved past me.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't evolved. It's just that I'm in too much pain to move anymore. Otherwise, I would.
You would keep putting it
Right.
on.
Like, I don't even care about discomfort or, like, minimal pain. It's when I actually, like, my body won't even let me move in certain ways anymore because it is in so much pain that I can't even mentally overcome it.
You need,
That's when I need surgery.
good thing you're seeing people now.
Yeah,
I'm
happy
happy
about
for
it.
that. Okay, so not speaking of, pivoting, right? It's year's coming to an end. We've titled this episode the New Year's special. So we're gonna get in. I want to recap some of the stuff because me and Pat we've been getting to kick it recently quite a bit, but I don't get to see you all that much,
Never.
right? And I thought it would be fun, especially the other homies were supposed to come on. I just want to kick it with the homies and celebrate the year that we have had.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right?
Let's
I
do
want
it.
to recap. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what you're proud of, what you maybe missed out on, what you're looking forward to next year. So I got to shout out real quick to both you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys both started new shit this year. That as your friend is dope seeing you guys grow. You started a YouTube channel.
I did finally start my YouTube channel.
We've been talking
That has
about it
been
since your first appearance on the show.
for years. Yeah.
Right? And I have always been telling you that you need to do this, and I'm so
Yeah.
happy that you are.
Thank you.
It's cool. I get excited when even you call me a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. You're asking me like, is Premiere good?
Yeah,
Is
Premiere
it,
Pro
like, is it
and
worth it? Is
stuff.
it worth
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Like, it's dope getting to see that, and it's exciting even just hearing you over a phone call, like the fulfillment that it seems to be bringing you in some way creatively.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is inspiring, and I love to hear that as your friend. And
Yeah.
then Pat started climbing. Pat started fucking rock climbing this year. He putting himself out there, getting new experiences, and I respect the fuck out of you for doing that, Pat. Pat too wasn't really hooping that much until this last summer, and now he'd been probably the most consistent guy other than me that
Oh,
goes
yeah?
to in our group of people. So
I still can't
Even-
believe you
even-
didn't play competitively, being
Yeah.
6'5".
Even when I was living in Illinois, I still made it up. Like,
yeah,
every
he
Sunday.
was out here. Yeah, he's out here. He's committed, and so
He's committed. Pat is committed, and you're loyal too.
That's what I'm saying. So as your guys' friend, I'm just happy to see those things. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's plenty of struggles behind the scenes. I'm sure there may be some other wins I don't know about, and maybe we could talk about those.
Oh, we
but
can
I
talk about
just-
the time that I literally called customer service of Premiere Pro and cried on my bed because I was editing a video and it just deleted in front of me.
Damn.
Yeah, it was rough.
But they got it.
He got it back.
Yeah, I
He got
remember
it
you saying
back,
that.
and that was rough.
However they did that, that's some wizardry. You gave him control of your computer, right?
Yeah, he sent a link so he could like go deep into my computer, and he. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm like taking my socks off. I'm
Oh,
sweating
you're
my
good.
balls off.
You're
so I,
good.
like-
It's okay. The lights are big. It does
It
does
is,
get
like,
warm.
So my parents keep their house at like 63 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
See,
insane. Well, but so do I in South Carolina. I'm not gonna lie.
that's fair. That's
It's
fair.
nice.
So, okay, aside from Premiere Pro meltdowns, what are you proud of that you did this year? What are you proud
Honestly,
of?
like
man?
I think the thing I'm most proud about is finally starting my YouTube channel because
Really?
that has been something I've wanted to do since I was like a kid. Seriously.
Wow. And you, for context, so people that maybe be just tuning are over on TikTok, or maybe people that are watching the live stream here on YouTube or listening on Spotify, whatever, you're going to get your PhD right now,
I am. So yes.
and
there's-
that's crazy. But you know what I mean? Like that's a crazy piece of context that like that makes you as happy as it does because
Yeah.
you're pursuing something
Right.
so
Oh,
elusive.
it's more fulfilling than my PhD for sure.
Really?
Well, yeah, if I had to choose one. Even
Wow.
yeah, like I don't know. My PhD is something it's like a hobby of mine. Like I love science and I love research, and so it, like I said, it's a hobby. I enjoy doing it, but like I don't get the same level of fulfillment. Like I don't think it's what I'm meant for type of thing. I think I'm just like good at it, and I'm like scientifically intelligent, so I'm able to make it far in that field. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about something that's genuinely fulfilling to me, definitely
Creating
creative
things.
content. Yeah, and also I just love I love talking. And I love conversation. I love I guess like creating anything. That's why I love coloring. That's why I love doing crafts. That's why I do YouTube. Like, I don't know. I really enjoy the process of committing to something and then making something out of the materials I have.
yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does to me at least, and I just think it's really cool on a personal level. The fact that like somebody that maybe if I didn't know you, right, and I just was like, I just maybe met you, even if we're both studying for a PhD, we're both doing work, whatever, like somebody who's so, driven, seems to be so driven, is so inclined in this field, right? And I would think like, oh, like that's what you would be defined as, right? If you were I just met you, like, oh, she's going to get her PhD, that's, future doctor, whatever.
Right.
But inside too, you're like, I am so passionate about this thing also.
Right.
I just think that's cool. Like, you're multifaceted, you're into multiple things, and not only are you into it, but just even the phone call we had a couple weeks ago, you're actively like seeking knowledge in both things.
Yeah, well, that's the
Like,
cool thing. I'm learning so much about creating. Like, Premiere Pro is so fun. I will spend a whole day on tutorials and edit maybe 10 seconds of a clip.
Oh yeah.
Like, but when I get it, like, it is so, oh my gosh, one morning I spent 1 hour like just watching tutorials on how to do this. I don't even remember what it was I was trying to do.
Some green screen, some
I think it was
chroma keying.
No, it was like I was trying to apply like one effect to the video, and I could not figure out how to do it. And after an hour's worth of doing it, I finally figured out how to apply this effect, and I was happy for the rest of the day. Like, it was so fulfilling that I had taught myself that, how like probably when you change your tire on your car, I mean, despite it blowing up a little bit later,
sucks,
but I'm sure it was fulfilling like after you did it.
When I finally got that shit all
you were
tightened,
like on the mend.
I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
I am a dog.
I get to wear that leather jacket now for real. I get to, I'm him. But yeah, no, then it blew up, so
right.
it backfired quickly.
But you have that sometimes.
Yeah,
but
it is what it is. But
it is really fun to learn a new skill and to teach it to yourself.
Yeah, and it's so, I think it's props to all the people on YouTube too, making them tutorials, bro. Like, they don't understand.
They don't know what they're doing.
I don't like
for the rest of us.
I'm not somebody. I think it's kind of crazy, the people that can like leave negative. I don't think I've ever left a truly negative comment, other than like if I've been in an argument with somebody or
like
something.
When I was 8.
Yeah, but it's like I try to be as positive as possible in the comments, or only comment on things that I am happy. And I've left some sus comments, like just praising somebody so hard because this fucking tutorial saved my life, and like I'm so thankful that now I can chroma key, and I'm gonna look it up again in 2 years because I'm gonna forget how to fucking do this one skill. But yeah, dude, they are so plugged. Everybody on YouTube making Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, FL Studio, everything that people create with, there's somebody who can teach you it online, and it's just for free.
Right.
Which is crazy. So I think that's so cool. Shout out to anybody doing that kind of stuff. I've thought about doing it before, but I don't think I've
thought about it too, but I'm like, I honestly don't even know how to screen record. So
you don't know how to screen record?
I mean, I do. You download like something.
We'll get you.
And then you screen record.
I'll show you.
Thanks.
You gotta get Bandicam,
Yeah, or you can use OBS. We got OBS. You can
that's what I heard. OBS
is really easy for it.
Do.
Pat, man, what?
I just said Bandicam because PewDiePie still uses Bandicam.
Does he?
Dude,
really?
I remember Bandicam. Even I.
Wait, what even is it? It's a editing software?
It's just a screen recording software. It's like Fraps and OBS or whatever.
Oh, got you. Well, I'm curious, Pat, for you, man. What's something that you're proud of that you got to do this year, that you started, or that maybe something you sought through to the end? Because I think that's, we go through a lot of shit in 365 days.
Well, recently I'm definitely proud that I'm trying to move towards the Air Force.
Yeah.
And I definitely am proud that I left my slave wage of a job before.
I'm still in it.
Yeah. Well, I respect that, man. I think that's big. You got to take the leap sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm definitely proud of my leaps of faith this year, for sure.
You got to believe in yourself, man. You have to. I respect that, again, as your friend. It's cool to see, inspiring to see. What's something that you guys haven't done yet in life that you want to do maybe in the next year or so?
Oh, I have a whole list of New Year's goals that I'm going to go for.
What's something? You can just give me the one. Give me one. The first one that comes to mind.
First one that comes to mind, I want to officially commit to starting a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I've posted like 2 things on my podcast. I don't promote it or anything because they're shitty quality. They were like in my AirPods when I was like on a rant at work type
I
thing.
can show you how to make that sound well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe not the AirPods, but I know the regular Apple headphones.
I mean, I do have like a mic now that I use like a clip-on mic for my phone. But I do want to like commit to actually like making a podcast because it's something I've wanted to do for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what I have to figure out what goal I'm gonna set because I can't just say I'll make a podcast because then there's no like way to track that, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 podcast a month or a week or 2, whatever it is.
Just getting a schedule and
Right.
sticking to it, whatever it is for you.
Right.
Okay.
And then I do want to commit to doing at least 2 videos a month on YouTube. It's hard because like
dude, you're getting a PhD.
Yeah,
we could cut you a little slack if you miss a video.
Yeah, but I hate that because I feel like I don't know. I really only work full time. Like it's not like I'm doing
only full time. Yeah.
I'm not like right.
Yeah, only full time. Yeah.
Well, because in my mind I'm like, well, YouTube should, if you really enjoy it, it should just feel like a hobby. Like it shouldn't feel like work or anything. And that's how I. So then I'm like, you should be able to work all day long then, right? Like you should be able to work all day at your job and then come home and film and edit until you go to bed, and that should be fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's still a lot of work.
But the reality is this too, is that the most fulfilling things in life are not the easiest. You know, it's like, yes, YouTube might be what you're truly passionate about and bring you the most fulfillment.
But
it doesn't mean it's always going to get to be the feeling of when you get to press upload. It's the same thing with music. With music, it's not the best part of making music is the second I do the hooks first a lot of the time when I'm making songs and whatnot. Is when if I'm producing a beat out, or if I am hearing an instrumental from a producer and like I get that moment of like I come up with the melody for the hook. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, and you lay it down the first raw try, and you just do that however many times till you get like one thing that sounds good. That's the best part. Right. The other second best part is when you get to press upload, like when the song is done. Everything in between fucking sucks.
Yeah,
sucks ass.
It does.
Being like
editing, I'm like, honestly, fuck my life.
Exactly. It's like being like, oh my god, like, do I need to rewrite this entire song because this one lyric is kind of corny, or like, oh shit, is this whole song corny? Am I a terrible artist?
Is this
like,
an awful song?
Am I just bad? Like, oh my god, do I need to turn the snare up by 0.1 dB? Like, it's like the stupidest things, right? But it's like when you get through all that, that's like why pressing upload is the best part.
Dude, you want to know what the best song ever is?
What's that?
I'm Fine.
Really?
Yeah. Can you tell me about this?
Oh yeah.
Recent.
Yeah. So Fine, my song Fine, they came out.
Or sorry. Oh, is it Fine? Not
Fine.
I'm Fine.
Yeah,
sorry.
You're good.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Plug. Yeah. So a while ago.
I'm gonna pull up some stats really quick. You keep going. I'm listening.
Okay.
I just want to look at Spotify and whatever.
Yeah. So a while ago, earlier this year, back in February, I dropped a song called Fine. I wrote it about a year and a half prior, but I was going through a lot, and I was not able to like do that hard part of making songs that I was just talking about, which is the mixing and the editing things and tweaking lines and whatnot. And so I had sat on this song for almost 2 years before I finally released it back in February of this year. And it did okay. Didn't really do a whole lot.
I can't believe you sat on it for 2 years.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It
Why
was
did you
just
end up
about 2
releasing
years. Why did I end up releasing it?
Did you make any edits to it before releasing it, or did you just?
Oh yeah. Well, basically I had the song, like the hook and then like the first verse, as well as like the bridge and like the breakdown all written, but I didn't. Other than like the hook and the first part of the first verse, I didn't have anything recorded because I just like thought everything sounded terrible. Like you go through like waves sometimes where like you think your voice is just garbage, and like hearing it at all, you're like, who the fuck is this? Turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I was going through shit with personal relationships as well. I was having like a depressive episode, and I just couldn't. It's really hard, I think, when you're making music, especially when there's no engineer or no like manager or anybody like else in your corner that's like relying on you to do well, like to sit there and pump you up and be like, no man, you are the man, It's really hard to like motivate yourself to you have to just keep laying this down until you get it, and like that you're good, get the song done.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like everything I did was terrible, so I stopped working on it for a long time. Whatever, I put it out in February. It did okay. It did a little bit better than my other songs usually do, but it wasn't anything crazy. And I believed in it, so I promoted the fuck out of it, made tons and tons of videos, probably at this point thousands of videos to this song. And it finally started gaining traction. I had done like this thing where I was like, if I had basically dumbed it down to the point of like, if you're actually, going through something or depressed or whatever, but you don't know what to say to people, then, this is for you. And then I would like point at the lyrics, and the lyrics come up. And people were like, oh my God. And so it started getting traction. It blew up a little bit, did okay. And it was like a month and a half or 2 months after I had started gaining traction. I'm talking like I went up like 4,000, 5,000 followers, had like a video with 600,000 views, another one with 100,000. Like we were doing well. Finally, like things were going good.
On Spotify.
On these are videos of it. It started doing well on Spotify. I did like over 100,000 streams at that point. But it was doing okay, and it started blowing up on social media a little bit. Not crazy for a micro influencer getting 100,000 plays multiple times. For me, that was going viral. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. People are actually seeing my music. And all of a sudden, again, like about a month and a half, 2 months later, I can't remember exact timeline, I get a song on my For You page that was this other guy's song.
Right.
He had just come up with it, whatever, had just come up with it, I don't know. And he says the exact same premise of the videos of mine that had finally started doing good. I'm not saying the idea or that premise is the most original idea or premise in the world, right? Then he proceeds to sing it, though, and I'm like, it's in the same key. So we have the same premise, right? It's in the same key. Then the chorus comes in. It's the same exact chorus structurally, and because every single bar, on the 4 fine comes in. So it's like da da da. It's like I'm fine. Da 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 da. I'm fine, and it would do the same thing as my song. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck going on? Tempo almost the same. The instrument choice. A groovy electric guitar, same thing. It just like slowed it down a couple BPM. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I like made a video about it. I was like, man, I don't know how to feel about this. I was like, should I feel like whatever, or should I be happy that like, because this goes viral, it gets millions of views, like 5 million views. I'm like, should I feel whatever about this, or should I like, I kind of feel like slighted a little bit. Like maybe this person saw my fucking song,
right,
and is way bigger than me, and so then they just like did it because I only had like a couple thousand followers at the time. And so I made a video then talking about it and being like, this kind of. I feel kind of weird about this. I messaged him privately to talk to him about it. Ignored me, ignored my video, ignored other people commenting on his video, whatever. And I didn't have a lot of followers, so it was whatever. And so I was really stressed out about it because I had some people like coming to my page and being like, fuck you, he didn't steal your. I'm like, I'm not saying he stole it. I'm just saying this sounds really weird. Let's wait till it comes out. So it comes out. He decides to go with the same title.
So it did end up coming out.
So it comes out.
Well,
so
didn't
now
he do
this is so when he announces it's coming out, before it comes out, he does his open verse challenge. It's a very popular thing people do on TikTok. If you have a song go viral or a snippet go viral, a lot of times what you'll do is do an open verse challenge. So what it does is you leave a segment of the song open. So you sing your first part, like the chorus or whatever. Then you leave a 16 or you leave however many bars you want for the verse. And people duet it and they upload their version. Boost your song. They get exposure because the song's going viral right now. And then usually what people do is they'll either pick somebody to be on like a remix of it, or what they'll do is they'll react to the top couple, like top 3 or 4 or whatever of them. Right. So I was one of the top ones because I did it, and I did it sort of as a tongue-in-cheek thing because my friends knew I was kind of stressed out about the fact that like it felt like my song was jacked and whatever. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna be a dick. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna do this open verse, and I'm gonna just fucking sing my song. And I put it in my software, didn't have to change a single fucking setting, exactly the same as the auto-tune, the fucking reverb, everything. I kept it all the same as what my fucking chain was on my actual song. And I do it. And I sing my fucking lyrics over this other song. And I got one of the top spots. All of a sudden, this creator doesn't react to any of them. He doesn't react to any of them. Doesn't say anything. Song comes out, does 10 million streams on Spotify, probably a few million on Apple Music, whatever. I just, it sucked balls, but I just like left it at what it was, and I was like just doing what I was doing before.
You fought as much as you possibly could.
And
you
so
couldn't do anything.
And mind you, it's not just this like the song premise and name are the same. We're talking the premise, the marketing, the name, the lead instrumentation choice to decide to go with that.
This guy's up your ass, dude.
I did the title I think already. The key, the cover art color, and the cover art logo.
What?
Like he did the same thing where he did a yellow fucking smiley face / frowny thing. Like it was this whole thing, right? And I'm not trying to, again, 2 people can have the same idea. That's a lot of similarities. That's a lot of similarities.
Insane.
And here's the thing too. I was not when I made the original video, I was like really not asking for anything, and I didn't ask for anything, but I messaged him privately because I wanted to talk about like, hey man, like, did you do this? And if you did, like, that's fine. Like, I mean, artists, like, everyone borrows from everybody, but like, could I just get a shout out, man? Like, you're fucking, like, I'm making no money. You're about to make fucking 40 grand, 50 grand off my song.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how much money he would have made off it, but
Right.
a lot of money off my song. So I got, I was upset, and I just let it be what it was. And I just kept chugging along. I kept promoting. I had some more songs like go like mini viral for me and started building a little bit more and more. He had put out this song because that was his biggest song ever, by the way. The song that may or may not have, his version of my song is his biggest song ever.
Right.
And so I think, what happened was he noticed, okay, this works. Like I'm going to do the mental health thing now. Like, and so he comes out with this song this week, last week or whatever. And his premise is, so I wrote a song from the perspective of anxiety. And it's like this, like,
probably anxious that you're gonna figure out that he stole your fucking song.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. And he, it's like this, like, I don't want to clown. I make pop music too, so I'm not trying to clown on like pop sounds or whatever. But it was like very Walmart, Old Navy friendly production. And then like he's like, "Hello, my name is ruining your day with," and it's like this whole thing where he's like, it's like anxiety is this like fun little pal that just like messes with you, and it's like everyone in the comments is like, dude, do you know what mental health issues are? Like, do you know what anxiety is?
So you basically wrote a song that was like,
it was like
not
kinda
accurately portraying anxiety.
Yeah, and so then people started clowning him, and like big people that I follow in the music world started like kind of making some jokes at his expense, and people were like, one of my favorite ones was and I really, before I keep going on this too, I really don't wish anything bad on this guy. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
No, but you gotta call it how it is.
But I just gotta, we're just making, this is a comedy podcast. We're making jokes. This thing happened to me, so I'm gonna talk about it. Somebody said in the comments was like, "Hey, guys, I have this great idea. I'm gonna write a song from the perspective of Alzheimer's and like the perspective of stage 3 terminal cancer, like all this like crazy shit." Because people were like, "What the fuck is this, bro?"
Yeah.
And so he's getting clowned, and rightfully so. It was kind of a whatever song. And so I stitched the video because people were stitching the video like joking with it, and I stitched it, and I was like, well, since everybody's making fun of this guy, I was like, I just would like to call attention to the story that happened to me, and I told you the story I've just laid out right now.
So how did you make that concise though?
It was actually really hard because I did it in a 3-minute. TikTok lets you do 3 minutes, but when I did that, it like cut his sound out, so I had to cut it down to 1 minute. So I cut out a lot of that context that I just explained right there, but I just got the main points. This video did like 1 million views,
Really?
1 million, 1 point some. I don't know, and I'm what the fuck's going on? He ends up turning off comments because people start going to his video and being like, "Bro, did you really steal this fucking song?" And he, instead of just being like, and again, I'm trying to think like, what would I do if I was him, right? If I did steal it or if I didn't steal it, I came to the conclusion I would say the same thing. I would respond and be like, "I never heard that before, but I respect it. Oh, that's really cool. I see we definitely have some similarities."
If you
like,
didn't actually steal it, you could just be upfront and be like, that you're right. But
I see the similarities, but I didn't. And even if you did steal it, you could say the same thing and be like, I see there's some similarities, but I don't really think, man, like I respect to you. Keep doing what you're doing, right? Because then it's like you've shown love, so you're not the bad guy anymore. And then you can be like, "But mine, I didn't even know you existed." Because he could do that,
right?
But he didn't, and so he turned off his comments. People were going, and he just like has been turning off comments on everything, and like people can't stitch his videos and all this crazy shit now. And I feel bad that he was like getting shit on or whatever. I don't want him to get shit on, but I just wanted to explain. I was like, oh, now there's eyeballs. I was like, let me just explain my story. I explained the same story fucking 4 months ago, 5 months ago, but nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. Like some people I saw that was the thing I was getting.
Just send me that TikTok because I want to watch how you like made that concise. I don't even know how you do that.
I really don't either. It took me a second to like think about it. I was like in the middle of like 2 job interviews too, so I like didn't have a lot of time. I was like, let me just throw this together, and I had to like figure out. I like put a couple bullets like, okay, this, and I ended up like crossing. I was like, okay, this isn't important, this isn't important, this isn't important, because I had to fit this in a minute. So it was kind of stressful, but basically yes, that happened. So people have been going to check out my song, and people are enjoying it. It went up a lot.
It's almost like
it
is the same fucking song that people were enjoying before.
Yeah, just more real. That's the thing, is like it felt like somebody took my song, like watered it down so that it could play at Old Navy, and then released it. And like they didn't understand at all what like
depression,
just like what the gravity of what I was saying. Like I'm not, and again, it's a pop song. I made a fucking pop song. I make fucking hip hop and pop music, right? And this last album I did was very pop, so it's like this was the lead single off of that, like that, you know, of course it's going to have like some pop elements to it with the guitar, and having a happy sounding song that's sad isn't a new idea.
Right.
But like I came at it as truthfully as I could, and like I really, the first lines is like, depression isn't everything it's made out to be. Like I was kind of like being tongue in cheek because like everybody is depressed, like everybody's talking about it, whatever. And then I'm going into how I'm an athlete. I played college basketball, and at the time I was fucking hella out of shape for my body, and I hated myself. I had no friend. It was just really dark time for me, and that song helped me deal with some of that, and I shared it, and it's helped other people deal with theirs, and I'm happy for that, and it's a fun song to sing. I like it. I'm proud of the song, and so for that whole situation to happen, it was so stressful, because then I had people that had when you go viral, and now I've had it a few times this year because I've been doing a lot of short form stuff with the podcast too. You get the initial, like if something goes viral, there is something initially captivating about it. And so like usually it'll be like people that are meant to see it. So if I have a clip go viral from the podcast, what'll happen is, like if it does 1 million views, the first couple 100,000 views, the comments will all be positive. Like, oh dude, this is hilarious, this is whatever. And then it'll get to the next few 100,000. It's starting to show people that don't give a fuck who you are. They've never heard, they don't even have the same sense of humor, and they're just like, and it's just a comedy podcast. So sometimes if the joke don't land, and then the people are like, fuck you. And I'm taking it so personally. I'm like, damn, like people are like, man, this is material from fucking when I was in 6th grade or when I was like, and I'm like, damn, bro, I be in my feels sometimes. And so when this happened, and again, it was about something so personal to me. And then I saw, like, again, initially people were like, man, that's fucked up. And there were like people that saw it, because the video that I had stitched was like his newest song. It wasn't the song that was allegedly maybe inspired by my song. Right. But I did the whole thing on TikTok where green screen, I like pointed at which video of his it was. So I explained to people. So at the beginning, the first couple 100,000 people have like the noggin to like go back and check it out. Right. And then they're like, listen to the whole video of me explaining, like, I'm not saying you can't have the same fucking this, but it's like, it's this. Right. And I don't even think I listed all the things that were the same in that video. And then it goes to the next group of people that don't have that context, and they don't care. And like, there was one comment that actually made me really laugh today, to McKenna. It was like somebody had commented, like they must have not watched the video at all, like immediately went to like comment as the video started. Right. And they were like, bro, nothing's the same, because they heard the song It Stitched. And then immediately responded to their own comment being like, okay, well, nothing's the same except for this. And then they responded to that comment, and they're like, okay, well, this, and this, but none of that other shit you said. And I'm like, I literally started laughing. I was like, okay, I don't know if this is a meme. I don't know if it was a meme or what it was, but it just cracked me up. So that's funny. So this whole thing happened, and I have had a few moments in like creating stuff where I have like had like controversial shit happen where I got really stressed out. And I think this was the best I've handled it. So I'm proud of myself for that, because this is the least anxious I think I've been. I still am. I still get like a weird, like, it feels like someone's like pushing my chest in when I wake up.
So many people are like they kind of have control over what happens, type of thing. Like the people
it's the court of public perception, you know. So it's like, do people? I could feel however I want to feel, but like at the end of the day, people?
They're the jury.
Yeah, and so then it comes down to like, did I explain it correctly? Did I give everything I needed to give, or did I not?
Well, you need to clip this podcast.
Yeah.
Also, when you do short form content with the podcast and it goes viral, is that on TikTok or the YouTube Shorts?
IG Reels right now is what we've been doing on
Reels.
So I started on Reels because TikTok was weird with my podcast for some reason. There's certain extra stuff you have to censor for TikTok, like extra censorship that I don't have to do on the Instagram. So I needed to stay consistent with IG Reels, which I have. I think I've posted. I haven't missed a day since I started posting on IG Reels with the podcast. So I think like 70 days, like 60, 70 days or something. So we posted every single day on there, and it's done really well. Okay. And so I have a ton of clips, because I went from the beginning of the podcast and I watched every single episode at ×2 speed and timed out every single thing that I thought could be a clip. And then I've gone back and edited them. So I have tons of clips.
You're a madman.
Yeah. I haven't gotten through all of them yet, but I have everything timed out. It's a lot. But I am actually gearing up to like start putting them on shorts and put them on TikTok. It's just tough, because I have to see what Instagram allows and then be like, okay, if Instagram allowed this, I need to make this like 10% more PG. or else TikTok will flag it right away. Because I tried to post on TikTok
Yeah.
and IG initially, and TikTok was like, "You're not fucking putting that on here."
You can't put anything on TikTok.
It's weird.
I don't know why anyone even still uses it.
You know what's the other weird thing about this whole situation though?
Hmm.
Is people that don't know you start searching stuff about you, and the recommended search. My friend had sent me a recommended searches of like he had typed in my name or the other guy's name or whatever, and then it was all just like so and so versus so and so, so and so, so and so
Really?
drama explained. Da, 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 da. And I was like, dude, that's
On
kind of
TikTok or
yeah,
on YouTube?
on TikTok. And then my sister, she sent me.
I didn't even know you can search on TikTok.
Well, yeah, it is kind of weird. It's not a great search function on there. But my sister, then we were hanging out yesterday, and she was like, she had done it, and people were searching up Darren Rita hair. How does Darren Rita? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and there was a couple
Dude,
people
that must feel great for you.
you know
You
what
get
felt,
so much anxiety about your hair.
you know what did feel good
What?
is I had a joke on this podcast a long time ago. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something to the effect of like, I will never have made it until somebody has done like a breakdown of like my failed apology video or of my drama or whatever. And there was a couple people that did like,
Dude, that's kind
here's
of
the
badass.
breakdown on, and I was like, you did a
I
good
made
job.
it.
I was
you
like,
can just quit,
well,
resign.
yeah, I guess I could, but I like went in and I was like, and the lady the one girl that I saw do it, she was pretty fair about it. Like she was like, it was funny. She recorded her whole video and her conclusion was like, I don't know if it's exact. I see some of it, what he's saying, but I don't know if it's exactly the same. And then another clip comes at the end. And she's like, actually, as I'm editing this, I do see that there's also this thing. And I was like, so I thought it was so funny. And I like commented, I was like, hey, good job breaking it down. I was like, hope you have a Merry Christmas, like whatever. And I just,
Damn,
that's pretty funny.
dude.
Like, it's just
Dude,
wild to have that.
I'm excited to see how all this turns out because your time has to be coming, right? Like
Maybe.
it's gotta be.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, just like in the sense that you've been working on it for years, right? Like there's gotta be some sort of light, you
Yeah,
know,
I
to
would
keep
hope.
you going.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I have those same thoughts all the time. But I do enjoy. I enjoy doing like, even
process.
just getting to sit down. Like obviously, like we were running a little late today, so things were kind of scrambled. But
Right.
like when I'm not stressed out about things being scrambled, like this is one of my favorite things to do is just get to sit down and like I created this podcast,
Right.
and like we've done it for 100 now and 82 weeks straight, haven't missed a week, and I get to just hang out with cool people in my space in a place that I've made. Where people and I try to make people
I mean,
feel
you
comfortable.
made this place is insane.
Yeah, I mean we got the studio and everything. It just I'm proud of it, and I'm proud. I like doing it. I like doing it every day, getting up, and even though it can be stressful, I like going in and being like, okay, what is the clip this week?
Right.
How do I take that clip and make it even shorter for this? And like, how do I book better guests? And how do I have better questions? How do I segue better? How do I do these things better? That part's awesome. And the same thing when it comes to the music. It's like I just like making music. This last song that came out, the last two songs that came out, when I was trying to finish them, and including the song that's coming out this week, I was trying to finish these songs because I knew they needed to come out and they needed to hit the deadline. I had this bad habit where I start a billion other songs.
Yeah, I've been there, not with songs, but with like.
But that's what I
things.
do, and so that's what I did. Like I just love making songs. I have 100 songs on my computer that I don't even know if most of them will make it. Like if they'll turn out to be full songs, they might end up being like a part of another song. But like I don't care if anybody ever hears them. Honestly, I loved making them. Like it just was fun to make them. If I got to play them and for myself and hear them once or show my dad or whatever, like that's cool to me. So that part keeps me going. But yeah, it is kind of cool to just see. It sucks that it's on a drama thing. Like it makes me a little sad.
A little annoying.
It makes me sad, but whatever you gotta do to get the eyes. People that
That's
stick,
the thing.
the people that stick, get it. Like
Yeah.
they'll get like, okay, this is who this guy actually is. This
Yeah.
is what he's doing, and so that part's cool. So I guess I don't know. That's not really what I'm most proud of though for this year for me. To tie it back into what I asked you guys,
Drama.
I think I'm just most proud of that. I started this year because the tail end of last year was really hard. Like the last 2 years prior to this year were really hard for me, and I had a checklist of things that I wanted to do this year, or just life goals. They weren't necessarily this year. They were like within the next 2 years. And I think it was 30 things or something, or 20 things or something, and I did all but like 4, all but 5 this year.
Can you list a few of them?
Yeah,
Like your
I
major
have it
ones?
on my phone actually. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna end. Yo, what's going on, people? If you're in the live, I'm sorry. I'm gonna end this because I need my phone for the rest of my podcast. So I appreciate you guys joining in the live. I hope you checked out the podcast for real. But I'm gonna borrow this now. So peace out, people. and alive. Yeah. That was interesting. I didn't even look at that once. Okay. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Yeah, this is my life goals.
Okay, dope. Oh yeah, I like that how you actually do the checklist function. I need to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fulfilling. Then you get it's the same thing when you cross it
off.
Yeah,
I always just put the green check emoji.
That works
but
too.
But it takes more work.
It does take extra work, especially if you haven't used it recently.
There's not like the satisfaction of clicking it and then having the button fill.
It does feel good.
That's
actually.
Nice.
So I had these were some of my goals: start therapy, make a new friend, start singing lessons, act in something.
Did you start singing lessons?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. I'll just list the ones I did. I'm gonna post it all on social media tomorrow, sometime this week. But just because I'm proud of it. And some of these things are stupid, like they're just little things. But for me, they're important.
Sometimes you have to put like do laundry on your checklist, right? Just to like check something off that day.
It builds momentum.
Yeah.
Start therapy was really big. Making a new friend, start singing lessons. I wanted to act in something again. I've been this program, the Knees Over Toes program, is like this fitness thing to help rehab your knees, and I've wanted to do it for so long, and I've known people that have done it and said really great things, and I finally did it this year.
Did it help?
Yeah, a ton.
Really?
And I only did the first 2 programs, like the first 2 stages. So I only did it for like 4 months or something. So and it really helped. Get to and stick with a skincare routine. Read every single day, which I did that. I started like last year at the end of the year when I made this list. I'd already started doing that. Quit Target. Did that.
Nice.
That was on the list.
Join the club.
Get a new phone, which I did. Get a new car. I did not do. Some things happened that didn't allow me to do that. Say no was something that it sounds stupid, but for me was so big, and I have done a better job of it this year. It was not perfect, but I remember the day I checked it off, there was a friend of mine who I have felt that we have not really been that close, and I've always wanted to be closer with them. And it always felt like they chose other people over. Like I was just like if nobody else could do anything, and they had to go somewhere, and they needed another person.
Dude, those were the worst. And they're always the people you want the most.
Yeah, and you feel so shitty. Like you just feel so like I'm not worth shit.
I know. I felt that. Yeah.
And so but what I would always do, like my whole life, I would still go.
Do I know this person?
Yeah, we could talk about it
after. Yeah.
And I don't have any. I think me doing this made my my relationship with them better. Actually, I think you're not as, but it's reciprocated anymore. Now though. Like I don't. It's not like they've hit me up since then, and it's been like on actual good sounding terms, not like, oh, I had reservations with so and so and they flaked, so can you just do this? No one else lives around here, whatever. But so I said no. And it was like I was like, and I didn't have shit going on. I was working on my album, but it was like, I could pause the album and go eat dinner for 2 hours with this person, and I didn't. I was like, no. I was like, I have stuff I have to work on. And,
nice.
Dude, and it's the stupidest thing, but I don't know. That was big. Release new music was something I honestly, at the beginning of this year, I was so nervous I wasn't even going to be able to do because I was so messed up. Learn how to cook a new meal, which I did. Shrimp, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like shrimp diavole or something. It's some shrimp pasta.
Okay.
And McKenna, my girlfriend, loved it.
I bet.
She
you
loved
go.
It. And we made it again the next week. And yeah,
that's
so
how
it's a favorite. So we're gonna be making that all the time.
When did
Rita
you learn
that? I just looked it up. And
so was that towards the end when you were like, shit, this was a goal?
It was like 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
And you were like, fuck.
Yeah, I think.
I can't believe you went all year without learning any.
I
love cooking.
I put things off, some of them off.
That's
so
fair.
like
especially the simple things.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I could get that one, and then Move was another one, and I did that too.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
You really.
There's some that I didn't do. Like I didn't direct I wanted to be in a new music video. I wanted to do a new music video and direct that music video. That was 2 in 1. So I didn't get that. Didn't get the new car. I have yet to fix my neck posture. I want to fix my shit. Yeah. So that's on the list. But I still have. I'm still alive. So I got next year, I guess. So some of them I'm not gonna beat myself up because I think. No, that's important.
Tomorrow I'm going to put some major time into like writing because I have a list of things building, like things that just, pop into your head and you write down on your phone. Yeah. But I want to like write them out and make a way like a schedule and some sort of quantitative identifiable goal that I can like check off and make it very narrow, very specific, and
A smart goal. That's what
Smart
they
goal,
call it,
right?
yeah.
Smart goal, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's important. That's good, and you should, because that's the biggest thing is just having something measurable. Like that
Yeah.
was, I mean, even if it's like for me, like release new music, like that's vague, but like to me that meant like I have to release a song. If I do not release a fucking song, then I don't get to sit here and whine about people not listening to my music,
right.
not all this other stuff, right? And so it's like stuff like that. You have to have some quantifiable step, like you were saying,
Right.
of like I can measure how much of this thing I did,
Yeah.
and then therefore I can say, okay, well, is it that as important as I was making it, or am I being a slacker and it is that important, or is it not that important and I need to drop that? So I think that's interesting. What's some advice you want to give to yourself this upcoming year?
Oh, that's a good one.
Kind of piggybacking off what we're getting at right now.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Pat, you think about it too. I'm gonna ask you in a second some advice
Yeah.
you want to give yourself.
I think. Oh gosh. Okay, you know what? Something that it's
say
really obvious to me.
Do
What?
it. Okay, you explain this first, but then when you give the advice, we're gonna help formulate it into like you can say it like in like a motivate. You know, in the podcast, like you see the little clip of like them like doing this motivational speech, and there's like the hard music and the like saturated colors or whatever.
Okay, so you're
So
gonna make me into
And then
a
because
clip.
then I can send it to you and be like, you know,
Okay.
listen to what
Right,
this
it's for
listen to what
me.
listen to what
It's
this
for
chick
me,
said
right.
about what you need to fucking do
Okay.
next year.
Okay, so I think oftentimes I get caught up in focusing on the future, and my body and my brain are often separated in two different time periods, and it's either the past, the present, or the future, and they're separated somehow among those. And a lot of the time I will want to do something productive in the moment, but then I'll start thinking about the future and think, okay, so if you do something productive now and you know like you have this productive thing scheduled, say it's like work, right? Say I have work scheduled at, or like an experiment scheduled at 9 a.m., right? And I wake up early in the morning, I'm editing a ton of YouTube videos, and I'm like, all right, so if you edit for this amount of time, then you're gonna have to go straight from editing into work, and then
You're thinking
gonna miss
about
lunch.
that instead of even focusing on what you're doing right now.
right. Well, you're thinking about all that, and then also you're like, okay, but then when will I get a break? And then like for example, say I've had like a lot of MRI appointments recently for my
Oh, yeah.
hips and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, but then I also have to like get to my MRI by 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to finish up there at 5 and then drive home in rush hour, and then I'm going to have to come home, and then I'm going to have to cook dinner, and like I can plan my day out all the way until 9 p.m. And then I'm like, okay, honestly, I just want to be bored. Like, cuz being bored is so much less stressful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, when am I going to be able to schedule in boredom? And it's like I don't even want to be bored. I just don't want to be stressed. But that convinces me to seek boredom to avoid stress, but in doing so I am avoiding doing the thing that I wanted to do, which was editing the videos, because
then leads to more stress
right
because you didn't do those things you wanted to do,
right
and now you have to
and
do
I perceive like the editing of the videos as like a productive task, because it is like it's something
Yeah,
that I want to get done.
100%, yeah.
But then I like convince myself that I need a break, or like that I need more free time than I actually need, because I'm constantly working toward a goal.
And you're like, do you think that's out of like some sort of like maybe you're anxious about the amount of work you have to do, and so you're
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's what I'm saying. Like my mind always rests in the future.
yeah.
And so I'm constantly like, if you take the stress of 5 different tasks and put them into one moment, it's obviously going to be more
Way
overwhelming than like the one task that you have to
Just
do
put
in
one
each
foot.
individual moment.
Yep.
So like I feel like I'm constantly experiencing the stress of 5 different tasks, even though I'm doing one thing at a time, because I'm always thinking of 5 different tasks.
Yeah.
I'm never just thinking about the one task that I'm doing.
Dude, what you are saying, right? You are spitting fire right now, because this is exactly
Thank you.
this is like I know that was probably hard for you to get through and like externalize.
Towards the end, that was a great explanation. The beginning was hard.
But yeah, dude, I have felt that so much. I've had that. It came to a boiling point. Was it last year? I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I can't remember. I did this song with a friend of mine named Jay Rachi, and I was doing a song a week, and I had 10 weeks planned, and I had all the songs like for the most part like skeletons all done and whatever, and I was like doing well with the timeline, and then something had happened where I like barely finished one in, but like got it submitted when I needed to get submitted, so I was kind of behind now. And I remember I had this song scheduled that he was going to do, and I literally like didn't have the end of my verse written, and obviously I still have to record this verse, and he's coming in like fucking 8 hours because it's like 11, and I know he's coming in the morning or whatever to record his verse before we then go shoot the music video the next day or whatever. It was like this crazy week, and I literally had to stop and like fucking go for a walk because I couldn't say a line because I was thinking about how I have to say the next line and thinking about how that was going to affect how I was going to mix those lines.
Yes.
And then if that was going to work compared to his verse, because he was coming in an hour, however many hours, and then I was going to have to worry about how his verse was going to play in the fucking video treat. And I was thinking about all these things. I couldn't even say the fucking one line I needed to say.
Yep.
And so like just trying to be like present was so difficult, and it's still hard because for me it has a lot to do with the phone. I think I get like I disassociate, and I feel like my consciousness is not here. It's like just above me or something. It's like weird. And it's hard for me to be present. And so I do like stupid things to try to like make myself be present. Like I'll read a sign, like just like literally like look at a stop sign and like say stop in my head. Because like your brain, your eyes, apparently if you are staring at one thing like as hard as you can, helps to stop racing thoughts.
Oh.
So if I'm like looking at this microphone and I'm thinking Mike, like I'm not thinking about anything, and it's like because you're forcing yourself. It's almost like if you had an arm in your brain, like you're forcing that arm to grab that thing.
Okay.
And you're not, instead of like what it's doing right now, which is flailing and touching it's touching all the little words and ideas you have in your head. It's like, no, there's the detox mug.
Right.
And like really look at it like hard, like it's like a weird thing because like your brain, your eyes, like when you're in REM sleep, I forget, there's some fucking guy way smarter than me explained it. And he was talking about like there's an actual, like some reason for it that helps, but I don't know what it is. So don't go to this podcast for that.
Right. Go to
unless
Andrew
I get him on
Huberman's
yeah.
podcast.
But so how do we boil that down to advice? How do we give it like a cool fucking hard piece of advice to give to yourself next year when you're feeling like you're struggling with this?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to the cliche of taking one step at a time, right? Like I said, the stress of 5 individual experiences felt at once is way more overwhelming than 5 individual experiences being felt at individual moments, right? So if you can focus on one stress at a time, the same like net amount of stress is going to be the same, but whether you feel all of that stress in one moment versus over the course of a day is what's going to make or break you and make or break your ability to like accomplish and achieve each individual task. So my advice to myself would be to focus on one productive task at a time and don't plan in breaks. That's another thing. Like sometimes I don't even want to break. I'm a very like
but
high
you planned it in.
Right. And I planned it in and then I'm like, well, you could be doing something productive. You don't even want to be taking this break, but then I feel like I have to because that's like part of
the plan.
the plan. It's part of the plan. And so, but if you just stop, and I mean, scheduling is obviously necessary. Yeah. It's important to some extent, but you can plan a general scope of ideas, right? Like you don't have to plan things out by the minute. Sometimes like when I go to bed at night, I will write out my morning by the minute. Like I will say, okay, 6:35, you do this, 6:45, you do this. And I mean, it's helpful to some extent, but the number of times that I follow through with that exact minute by minute plan is few and far between, right? And I'd be better off not spending my night stressing about my morning by the minute and just worry about like getting enough sleep so that because even if I just go to bed and don't plan anything, I could still wake up 1 hour earlier and theoretically fuck around for 1 hour and still accomplish the same amount that I would if I would have just.
Well, there's something I'd like to add to that just because I don't know who said this quote, but your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what your thoughts are, like what you manifest in your head, right? So when you are overthinking or stressing out over a worst case scenario or even all the possible bad case scenarios for whatever is upcoming that has you stressed out, all you're doing is, so let's pretend that you're right, that whatever anxiety or stress that's eating at you is right and the worst thing is going to happen. All you have just done is put yourself through it a second time.
Yes, you're going to suffer twice. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Anxiety is suffering twice.
Yeah. So it's like, and I'll tell you what, I'm really good at doing that, at not doing that with physical stuff. Like when I ran that marathon, like I was like, I know it's gonna suck. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just fucking going. You know, like whatever.
That's how I am.
But,
like physical feats, whatever.
But when it came to like more personal, like mental and emotional development things, I terrible at it. Or like relationships and dealing with tough situations in real life that aren't like, oh, how long can I run? Which like those things are important. That does shit to your mental health as well. Like being able to overcome physical feats, definitely it all plays into each other.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just a lot more difficult, challenging to do that. And I definitely still struggle with it.
Well,
But
I think it's often even hard to think while you are exercising like that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes-
your heart rate is so high that your thoughts can't stay focused on certain things.
I will say running for me is like one of the most meditative things though.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just like I hate running. So I love it now. Like I hate like it hurts me. Like everything hurts, but it just like I think like that it just like numbs my mind, and like I'm able to just like actually organize my thoughts. Like it feels like I've opened up the file cabinet. I'm like, okay, no, you're supposed
That's
to
how
go
I feel
here.
about walking.
You're supposed to go here. I'm sure it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's something too. I forget again. I don't know the science behind it, but there's something with having like motion. Your eyes, like seeing things move, helps you to organize your thoughts as well.
Dude,
I don't know what it is.
I always say I can only connect my body to my mind through like activity.
through walking.
Walking
something.
specifically is like the best way for me, but activity in general.
Shooting hoops helps me sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I get to do
Dude,
that. I'll show you.
Weightlifting is absolutely transcending. Like like the mind muscle connection where you can physically like you can close your eyes and you can imagine like your bicep flexing and then flex it and curl a weight and just feel what you're thinking. You're literally feeling your thoughts when you think about your bicep flexing and you're curling a weight, and you just count. You're only counting reps.
Yeah.
And so you can't think about anything else. Like I can't organize my thoughts while I'm weightlifting. I'm sure they're organizing subconsciously, but when I'm weightlifting, I'm just counting.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And I do that for set after set after set after set.
But that's like, and that's the thing is like, I think doing that as much as we can when it comes to, that's why I think it's so important to have some sort of physical activity because of what we were just talking about before, where it's like, it's so hard to take one step at a time. But like physical activity, I think maybe there's less of a barrier to entry to be able to start doing that. Because it's like all you are worried about right now is one rep of this. But so now your brain, it can't think of anything else. It's just doing that. It's the same thing. That's why I love basketball. When I'm hooping, I'm literally just worried about beating the other person. Obviously, there's little things that I'm thinking of subconsciously, quickly on my toes of like, how do I do that? But it's just like, for however many hours I'm playing, it does not matter if me and my friend are fighting, or if me and my mom got in an argument, or if I'm not going to fucking be able to pay rent, whatever the fuck it is. It's like, I'm just worried about that thing. And being able to do that, I think, has a lot of power. But that's good advice for yourself.
Yeah.
Pat, what's your advice? What's your advice to you?
I would definitely just say keep your head up and learn from your failures rather than just failing, you know?
Fail with purpose.
That's a
purpose.
great one.
Fail
Yeah.
with purpose. Yeah.
Whenever I feel like I've fucked up a day, which happens actually more frequently than you would think, considering I'm like getting my PhD, you'd think I have my shit together. And arguably to the layman, I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I fuck up a lot. And my favorite thing to do is get up really early the day after I fuck up and write about all of it. Not like write about what I fucked up, because that's just, negative reinforcement. But like write out what my anxieties are, how I can reframe them, what are the things I want to focus on today, why is whatever I fucked up yesterday not important for today, and like journaling, just journaling,
I know, dude,
changed my life.
Yeah, it is. It's just that is so like therapeutic, and like just literally waking. I do the same thing every single
And
day.
the effect that
don't know
journaling
what it
has
is,
on
but
you never diminishes. Like I will do the same fuck up like 15 different times, and on the 15th time I do it, the journaling the next day still feels just as therapeutic as the first day I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I can make the same mistake a million times.
Yeah. But it
And-
is. It's weird. It's like you're almost like letting it go in a way.
It is really, I don't know
Because you're
why.
holding on to it.
It lets
Especially
it
if you're a
go.
motivated person, right?
Right.
We hold on to our
Right.
failures. And so when you just put it onto paper, it's like you've like fucking thrown it up. Like
It
you've gotten
takes
it out of
it's
you.
out of your head. Yeah.
And it takes like
It's
less
actually
space.
like purging.
Yeah.
Like verbal literary purging.
I think that's journaling's big. I think
So that's a
everybody-
good one, Pat.
Okay.
I'd say like learning,
That's great.
taking, because I always when I do wake up that next day, and I'm journaling, it typically starts off somehow saying like, you now know that like that didn't make you feel good. Like what you did last night or what you did yesterday, what you didn't do yesterday that didn't make you feel good.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about it and learn from it. Like you just got a lesson.
Yeah.
Like some people don't get that lesson. Like you can learn from this rather than beat up on yourself.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
it.
Like, yeah, it was bad that you ate 12 Oreos after you had a great day of working out.
Or
and
jar
all these
of
other
peanut
things.
butter in my case.
Yeah, you ate fucking 12 Oreos when you said you were going to have 2. And, you know, you had a big fucking fat glass of milk with it as well. And now your stomach hurts, so you just woke up. But what are you going to do? You going to beat yourself up about it? Or are you going to fucking just try to not... You try to avoid the 12 tonight. Let's try to do that.
Let's just like not eat 12 Oreos and like have a salad.
Yeah, and I've fucked that up a million times.
Sometimes it's 2 days in a row.
Dude, I did it the other day. It was it was the other. I think it was last week. We were watching a show, and I did not want Oreos. She had bought Oreos. My girlfriend had bought Oreos.
What a bitch.
And
she knew it.
But then, see, I fucked up because then I bought them this week. But I didn't have Oreos like the whole time we've like fucking lived here, which has only been like a little over, or just about 2 months
New
almost.
house, new me.
So I was like, I'm just not keeping them here because when they're not here, I don't fucking need them.
Right.
But when they're there, I'm like, man, I want some fucking Oreos. And so I left the package like sealed for however long. But then I started fucking eating them. Once it's open, I'm like, oh, I gotta finish them.
Because right, like,
am I gonna let them
go stale?
Bad? Yeah,
right,
I'm not
like,
fucking waste an Oreo.
I'm not an animal.
Yeah, Jesus. So I can't only eat 2 of them, so I'll eat 4.
Right.
4 is like a good amount. But what happens is 4 sometimes turns into 8. So I did 8 2 days in a row. I was like, that's a lot of Oreos. Like that really is. You don't really think it, but it's a lot of Oreos. So then what happened was, listen to this.
Like,
there was only. So then I go to eat. I forget, we're watching a movie or a show, and I go to eat 8 Oreos, and I eat 8. I eat the 8, right? There was only 14 in the package, so I'm like, oh, well, there's only 7 left, so that means I can't eat 8 tomorrow, so I might as well just eat them all right fucking now. So I ate 16 fucking Oreos.
Can we do the math? So I know that like 2 Oreos is like 140 calories, right, or 160?
Something, yeah.
I want to say.
Dude, why don't we use
is
those
it
for the
140 or
10K?
160?
I should have used those for the 10,000 calories.
I think it's
challenge.
160. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
160. You had how many?
16 or 14 Oreos.
14. So,
Oreos, yeah.
Okay, well, 14 times, or sorry, 160 times. We have to divide it by 2 because that's 2 Oreos. So you use 14 Oreos.
Yeah, so 7.
So
times.
7 servings.
Yeah.
7 times 160 is.
We're talking close to 1,000 calories.
That's more than 1,000 calories, right?
Is it? Oh, you got the calculator up. That's fine.
Okay, 7 times
We're bad
160.
like that.
That's 1,120 calories. Oreo. You had like 2 meals worth of Oreos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a glass of milk with it too?
Oh yeah, I like to dip them.
You
Whole
gotta make
milk?
it a full meal.
No, we don't. I don't know what the fuck we get. Sometimes we have oat milk. Sometimes she picks the milk out. I don't know.
As
So
long as you got the Oreos.
whatever. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
Of Oreo?
Yeah.
I just honestly a good double stuff Oreo is good. I
Yeah.
just like the cream. I like the cream of Oreos so much. Like I like them. I like the whole thing though. Like I can't. It bothers me sometimes
I'm the same.
when
yeah.
people are like, I messed with. Actually, I don't think
when they're like doing surgery on their Oreos.
Yeah, I don't
and
think it made the
fucking
video,
twisting it
but
out.
when Deja and I did that video with the pumpkin spice stuff, she had talked off. I don't think it made the video, but she talked about how she like scrapes the shit off, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, it's the whole thing. It's like when people are like, "Oh, they like you're like, oh, do you want a cupcake?" And they're like, "Yeah," and then they just fucking chop the fucking frosting off, and they just eat the cake, or vice versa. It's like.
Right.
Did you just want fucking frosting? Because I could have just scooped you out some frosting,
Right.
or vice versa. Like I could have just gave you a piece of fucking cake. I didn't have to go through trouble of frosting this thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's a package deal. An Oreo is an Oreo.
Right. It's not like half an Oreo.
That's why I dislike a lot of Oreo ice cream stuff. Like I like because they just put topping. They don't put Oreos in it. I like the cream of the Oreo with the Oreo cookie.
You gotta go to Blizzard.
They're solid. I'm not gonna lie, I like concrete mixers better, but they are very good. But I like making. I'm not gonna lie, the best ice cream I have is the ice cream I
I think
make,
like
so.
milkshakes are definitely one thing that I miss from being lactose tolerant.
Damn, yeah.
But
That's
it's okay. I can take lactate if I need to. But I also
If you
don't
really
like.
gotta risk
I
it.
would honestly be sick to my stomach if I had a milkshake. If I'm honest.
Really.
Yeah, if I have 2 cookies, like it hurts my stomach.
Mm.
I'm just not used to like the cane sugar.
Mm.
But I eat a lot of sugar, like fruit sugar.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but like fructose, I'm assuming, just really bothers my stomach. And I can get used to it. Like when I'm at home for a long period of time, like I know right after I moved to South Carolina, or sorry, right before I moved to South Carolina, I was living with my sister for a couple months, and you know she'll have like Oreos in her cabinet or like snacks around. I don't normally keep snacks around, so I'd be like having that stuff every day, and then like the sugar wouldn't bother me, right? Like I would get used to it, and I could literally have 10 cookies if I wanted, and it wouldn't make me feel sick. But like when I'm like consistently eating like whole foods and not even whole foods, just not cane sugar. Yeah. Cane sugar really upsets my stomach.
It's like poison, dog. That's what it is.
I don't even want too much of it. It's like very nauseating.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I have the same thing with soda because I don't drink soda anymore. It's like if I take a sip, I can't handle carbonation. Like I can't handle carbonation, really? And my teeth feel weird. Like I can't because I just don't drink soda anymore. I had one yesterday. My mom had like kitty cocktail stuff, and we always loved kitty cocktails when we were growing up, so we would make them. And I like had a very small, like had her pour the fucking Sprite. I was like, don't give me a whole can, like I can't. And I just had a little bit, and I'm like, oh, it's good, but I'm sitting there fucking burping off like fucking 4 fluid ounces of Sprite.
I can't even imagine.
Like I couldn't handle it. So it's I totally understand that. We'll keep this moving. I gotta give myself some advice. What do I want to say to myself? I think I want to care. I don't know how I'm going to say this. I want to care less about what people think.
I can teach.
Okay.
I care nothing about what people think about me. It's actually almost a negative character trait. Positive for me.
Well, yeah, I just want to be able to I want to be able to leave an interaction, whether that's through comments or if it's through a video, or if it's through face-to-face like this. I want to be able to leave that and not look back and hyper fixate on every single thing I did and maybe like, oh, did I say that kind of wrong? Did they when they moved their head that way, was that them like I made them uneasy?
Remember, you're not important enough to offend people.
Yeah. I have to internalize that, I guess, cuz I think I'm too important. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's actually how our brain like thinks about it. I don't think it's like, oh, I'm so important, XYZ. I think that if you I don't think it is the reason, but I do think it is the cure. Like, I don't think we think we're important and that's why we get insecure. But I do think the cure to feeling insecure is realizing that we're not important.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to say to myself. Darren, in 2023, I want you to realize that you are not shit and that other people's worlds do not revolve around you. So just be you, be happy, laugh, make the jokes that you want to make. And if, as long as you're doing it with a pure heart, it doesn't matter if someone gets offended or someone gets whatever, somebody doesn't get it, just be you and have that fun. Because I think I get stressed out about like, I'm like so nervous about how can I say this so that I don't look back on it and whatever, or I don't think someone else did whatever.
Like, honestly, okay, so think about your Christmas Day experience, right?
Yeah.
All the shit you had going on. Would you have even explained in the story if somebody looked wrong at you? Like if somebody actually did something that hurt your feelings that day, you probably wouldn't even remember because you were so focused on the shit going on in your own head. And that's like if somebody actually did something mean and offensive. But in a normal situation, like day-to-day experiences, you're normally not doing anything that would be life-altering or offensive.
Yeah. And
most people are already too busy to be concerned about actually offensive things, much less the non-offensive thing that you did passively when you had a conversation with them. You're just not making the dent on people that you think you're making. And it's almost like belittling, but also very freeing. I'd rather be unimportant than constantly self-absorbed and anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine being unimportant as long as I'm like not anxious about my importance.
Yeah, and you're free of that. That's good. That's my advice to me in the upcoming year. Okay, I want to have some fun before we wrap tonight.
Yeah.
I wanna. It's kind of a weird question, kind of a dumb question, but I thought it would be fun to ask you guys because you guys have been on however many times, and I think maybe it'd be interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys think a guest has ever left the show like after we've done an episode and been like, that sucked?
Yeah,
like,
no, me right now.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like curious because like here's the thing, I do know of a couple people that were like, oh my God, I feel like I was so terrible, and like I talked to them after, and most of the time they weren't. There was like one person that like messaged me after, like was aware enough to be like, oh, I felt like I was kind of standoffish, and I was like, it's all good, dog.
Was this the one dude that we messaged about that one time? I don't even
know.
remember his name.
I don't know. You don't have to say names.
I guess
but
I felt that
it's
way
happened
about
before.
the camera. Like when I'm on the camera, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job.
of like the switching and whatnot.
Yeah, but
I
I
think you
mean,
do fine.
no, yeah, I see the
I
clips
keep putting my
afterwards, and
wrist
it
in
looks like I was
your
doing good
view.
enough.
That's okay. You can.
You were
do like
you were
a-
showing a lot of.
You were
I
just.
do a lot of hand motions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we are.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I wonder like if somebody's ever like I've thought it went well. Most of the time, I think it didn't
I
go
think
well.
most of
and-
the time feelings are mutual.
Yeah, interesting. Well, sometimes I'm not gonna lie. I think I really overthink things. Like
Sounds like it.
I really am like considering every like micro fucking thing that they did during the interview or afterwards or before when they came in. I'm like, oh, did I share too much? Did I overexplain it? Like,
An overshare.
yeah, that's God, yeah, I probably am.
Those.
But
Do you think you have OCD or something?
Oh, he definitely does.
I don't know.
You definitely. I would.
I would maybe
I
call it more of a
diagnosed-
perfectionist than OCD, but it's almost
Maybe.
like a minor form of OCD.
Yeah.
But perfectionism is a form of OCD.
Yeah.
Like OCD has subsets. It's just an umbrella term for obsessively and
Interesting.
compulsive,
Compulsive, yeah.
obsessive compulsions.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I was kind of curious to think like I wonder if anybody's ever like been excited and like left and been like. Again, this is me thinking about what people think about me, but
Yeah.
like
I mean,
he's like left and been like, man, that show sucks. Like that guy's bad. Like I'm curious. Like
I don't know, cause okay, I can say from like a viewer's perspective, I really think you do a good job of asking questions, being curious, and also like carrying conversation as in a friendly way too.
mhm.
So I'd be surprised if anyone actually thought you were bad at what you do, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, Darren, like a
Mhm.
lot of podcasts. And you are one of the better personalities that I have come across in the podcast realm.
You gotta be capping, bro.
I'm not capping.
Well, thank you.
Because you're very good at you're kind of like Joe Rogan in the sense that you have just enough like curiosity to ask the important questions, but you're smart enough to not ask the stupid questions, but you're also not so like well versed in everything that you know too much to where you don't have questions to ask.
Mm,
So you're really good at like just picking people's mind,
yeah.
which is something that, oh my God, like science podcast. I love science podcasts. There are only a few that I can take because sometimes you'll be having a conversation between like two doctors who are like obviously fucking smart,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
No D. Rita,
explaining
that's for
something.
sure.
They're like explaining something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Like, I have a question on that. Like, I need them to ask, like, this question that they really didn't touch on very well because they both get it, but
Yeah.
none of us fucking get it. Like, please go. But they
Yeah.
never ask the question because they know too
Interesting.
much.
Yeah.
But you're smart enough to understand how to ask questions and, like, be curious about things, but not so well versed that you don't ask questions.
You guys ever think I've been mean on the show? Like I've been rude to somebody?
No, I actually have never seen that.
Cause I sometimes I get worried that like people will take things.
I think
the wrong
you
way.
seem to perceive yourself as an angry person.
Yeah,
Because I think you feel a lot of frustration.
I do.
But frustration is a primary emotion and anger is a secondary emotion.
Mm.
So because you're frustrated does not mean you're angry, right? Like frustration is something you feel and
Yeah.
anger is an emotion that you project onto others. So like
Interesting.
you can feel frustrated without being angry, but you can't
Mm.
be angry without feeling frustration.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah, I worry about that a lot. I think is like I don't want to like even because I like comedy and I'm not saying I'm not a comedian. I'm not claiming to be that. I think that title you have to do a lot of work to have that. I don't think I'm there at all yet. But I do think I have some moments where I can make some fun and make some
You
jokes.
make me laugh.
So I appreciate that. It means I'm doing
I
something
love
right.
watching your pods,
Well,
honestly.
Thank you. But I get worried sometimes. Like I really prepped for when I had Jackson Fox on the furry we had.
Yes,
on a
the
while
furry,
back.
I do remember him.
And it was a great. I'm very proud of that episode. I thought we had a lot of fun. It was
Did it
very
do
weird.
well?
It did do well. Actually, the clips did very well of that episode. It was like really important to me that, and I told him this when we met previously in person, and I was like, I did not want to come off as like, oh, like this is a furry I'm bringing on to be a punching bag. Let's all make fun of them because I
Mhm.
met him and he's a cool fucking guy. And first off, I had nothing against furries to begin with.
Mhm.
Like I know some people get really weird about it, but like I had nothing against it, but I was curious. And the fact that he was down to do it and I met him and he was super cool and chill, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to I don't want people to look at it and be like, oh, this is the time Darren's gonna make fun of this guy, like whatever.
Right.
Like obviously there's jokes to be made, right?
Right.
Like everybody has shit that we can make fun of,
Right.
but it's like I just wanted to make sure, and I think it did. We've spoken, we messaged after a little bit, and yeah,
I
it
thought
seemed
it
like
was
it
a
was
good
good.
episode.
So I thought it was
Jackson
fun.
Was cool.
Jackson was cool as
Yeah,
fuck.
he-
Yeah, everybody that was there, Pat was there. Everybody that was there was like, this guy's fucking cool. So
That's dope.
it was an interesting episode. But yeah, I've always wondered that. Like,
No, yeah, you definitely carry the conversations well, like Caitlin was saying.
Yeah,
appreciate
I
that.
think so.
Well, who do I need to have on in 2023? That's what I want to know too from you guys. Who or types of people? You don't
Devin
have to give me
Coleman.
Devin Coleman.
Yes.
This is a cold water challenge now. People are just like being fucking nominated. Like,
I just love Devin.
what do you think we would chat about?
She's
She's funny.
She's just funny
yeah,
as
she's
fuck.
funny,
Devin
so-
is just awesome. Like
Yeah.
you'd have some really. I feel like Devin is probably a person that has a lot of like ironic stories to tell. Like just shit happens to her type. I don't know if that's actually true, but she just strikes me as that.
She could have.
You
that.
should have McKenna back on.
We've talked about it.
I think
We could do it.
talk about her nursing career.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure we will.
The shit stains that she has.
While
to-
she's wearing her uniform.
yeah.
Yeah. In uniform, that'd be wild.
Halloween.
I won't know. What was I gonna say? Before we wrap tonight, because I want to make sure. I don't know if you guys want to eat something or anything. We could probably eat something after this.
I mean, I'm down, but you should definitely just keep trying to learn more from people on the podcast, you know, like you have been.
That's fair. Yeah.
You know, just
I think that's right. I think just I want new people on so I can
Yep.
I can get something from it, but
Right.
I also want to be able to bring like levity in like a comedic sense to it because I want it.
Right.
I just want to have fun while we like. I don't want to. It's not a science podcast. So if I
Right.
have a doctor on, like, hey,
Me?
I had, yeah,
I'll be your
eventually.
first doctor on probably.
I already had a doctor.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Dr.
Who?
Dole.
Oh
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. He was on. He was cool. He was chill.
Yeah.
He was chill, and we had some fun too. We made some jokes and whatnot. So, but you gotta have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta have people that can too. Sometimes I get nervous when I'm booking people because they really want to be on, and I'm like, okay, and then they like want
We
to
have
come.
this expectation.
Some people just take themselves really seriously. Like they're like, I'm a musician, and I'm like, cool. Like that's awesome. It's gonna be fun, and like I'm like ready to like ask some like silly. I know what we deal with. I know what you fucking go through. So I like will ask like a question about like, oh, is it like ever weird with this or like this silly situation? I'll bring it up. They'll be like, nah.
No,
That's
everything's
the
chill.
worst. Bro. I hate when I get a fucking just like a from
I
anybody.
guess her no.
Yeah, and they're just like, nah, and I'm like, and I wait and I pet until like, come on, give me something, and then yeah, that's the toughest. Are you guys doing? What's up with the new year? New year, new you. What's
Other than like writing out all my goals and everything, in terms of like celebration plans, I have no idea.
Mm.
I have no idea. I actually have to ask my family and figure out what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing too. I have no idea either. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what was going on with Christmas, other than I know we had to do the thing on the day
And,
before because we do that every
I
year.
mean,
I gotta start
effectively, it really
climbing
didn't even
again.
matter what was going on.
yeah, it
Christmas.
didn't matter. My tires had other plans, so
Yes, they did.
tires had other plans.
There
But
are places to be.
Yeah, they did have places to be.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to just drag on. If we don't have anything, is there anything else we didn't get to today that we need to get to? 'Cause
Any
feel
New
like we
Year's
talked about a lot of
resolutions?
stuff.
Did
we
touch on
kind of talked about like advice we wanted to give
Yeah.
ourselves. I feel like that's close enough to New Year's
That's probably
resolutions.
better than-
It probably is better than a New Year's
Yeah, I'd say
resolution.
so. Yeah, it's something to go back on and like. I think it'd be cool to know if we actually do take our advice at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Like
hope
if I
we
can really get good at doing one thing at a time, and if you can get good at not caring what others think, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that would be important.
And then Pat, if you could get good at learning from your
Failures,
Yeah.
from your
fail with
failures.
purpose.
And keeping my head up while I fail too.
Right.
Yeah. Just means you gotta the things you're doing have to be things that are that you are willing to fail at. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like failure hurts a lot more when it's something you didn't even really want to do to begin with.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. If my first podcast was the worst podcast anyone's ever made,
I don't
And
think,
it's-
I wouldn't expect any less out of
disagree.
the first podcast.
but you know what I'm saying? Like it was like as bad as it could go. It went like we were scheduled to go on YouTube, and then YouTube was like, nope, you have to get this thing before you can go live, and we had found out 20 minutes before, so we had to switch to Twitch, and then we switched to Twitch, and we found out my internet wasn't strong enough. Then we found out both cameras couldn't be ran through the computer, so everything got fucked. But that I learned because I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
could have just been like, oh, everything's broken. No, I spent the next week figuring it out, and we did an extra like episode with one of my other friends to fix the rest of the bugs. And yeah, I think that's the thing, is just failing at things you actually would be okay with failing at. You know, like I'm willing to put out a song that might suck if that's what gets me to the song that's my best song.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's important. So I don't know. Anything else before we wrap?
I think we're good.
I think we're good. I think we did it. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me in the fucking sauna here today.
Dude,
The
it
people-
is so hot.
The people
right now.
do not know, bro.
It is so
we
hot
also
in here.
yeah, it's very hot because it was hot today, and we tried to turn the heat off, but it just didn't go well. But I want to thank.
It was not hot today. It was like 20 degrees.
No, but because we have the windows, it heats up, and we have our people who are under us, their heat comes up, and then our windows, we usually have the blinds up. We forgot to put the blinds up.
you should
right.
just open the windows.
We did open the windows. We did open it for quite a while.
How is it this warm?
I don't
The
know.
door
Well, this
closed.
door is also
Yeah.
this room is always a little like a degree or two warmer than the rest. But yeah, so it is tough. But I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in live. I want to say thank you, especially to you guys for being here. You guys are my homies. You guys have been on a billion times, and we'll be on a billion more times.
Oh, hell yeah.
As we get more and more famous people on, you guys are gonna be around. You guys will be meeting some cool people. Trust me,
oh,
believe
yeah.
me.
Hey,
Um,
we're going to blow up together, and we're going to get some really expensive sushi after.
I don't like sushi, but I will go.
We're gonna force them.
Well, they always have like hibachi at sushi places, so.
Okay.
Do you like sushi?
I don't know what
I
that
love
is.
sushi.
Should we go to a sushi place for dinner?
There's
Get you
a
some
place we can go
hibachi?
right across the street. They got some.
All right, let's go.
I got paid today.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in live. Thank you to those who are going to watch days after over on Spotify. I want to say shout out to Kenosha Auto Insurance for sponsoring this episode. They put them up, and then we got to put the patrons up on screen. I want to say shout out to them as well. They be holding it down. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to how I write, mix, master all my songs, as well as a bunch of other extra footage, extra podcasts, vlogs, stuff like that. Go to patreon.com/Darren Rita to get access to all that. You can help support the channel for as little as $1. With that being said, it's been a 182nd episode of the podcast, the Dtalks podcast. I will see you guys next year, as you know, people say that. Peace. There we go, guys.